Show you a real NFL contract and how it works. He gets a $9.9 million signing bonus, and he gets $750,000, which is the league minimum. $10.7 million he's getting, but now he got to pay Uncle Sam. Federal taxes are $4 million. Then state taxes in Michigan are almost $700,000. And then he's got to pay something called the jock tax. Anybody know what that is? If you're an NFL player, pro athlete, whatever, you have to pay taxes in every single state you play. So you play for the Dallas Cowboys that has no state income tax, great. Like Will Levis plays in Nashville, right? Tennessee has no state tax, that number's 0. But then, when you go play in California, guess what happens? You pay tax in that state. You've gone from $10.7 to $5.8 million. So half your money is gone and you have not spent a dollar. And guess who doesn't know that? The people asking you for money. All they see is in the paper, you're getting $10.7 million. I saw the NIL deal, you're getting $300,000. Give me some of that. Give me $100,000, you got $200,000 left. And if you don't know no better, yeah, okay, cool. All right, yeah, I got you, mom, you raised me. Here's $100,000, I got $200,000 left. Uncle Sam goes, all right, but I need $150,000 of that. So you only have $150,000, you gave 9% of your money to your mom. So you didn't know. It's about putting a plan in place. If you know this going in, you can do everything you want to do if you plan. If you don't, you're playing catch up. We can simplify all this stuff. That's our goal. Everybody has different responsibilities. Our goal is to make sure whatever yours are, we help you navigate.
Like that air guitar at the end there, right there. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here on our Sunday morning tradition that continues on into our 15th season. And by the time the end of this NFL season, it will be 16 years that we have been here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, bringing you such nonsense that, some of the things that I bring into, and then the fact that some people think some players deserve to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, we bring you all kinds of craziness. But that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. Last week, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually missed this guy last week. I don't know how it happened. We were just going along, and about midway through the show, was like, wait a second. We haven't had any kind of nonsense come from the one, the only Podfather. Good morning, Podfather. I'm glad to see that you're here.
Well, I'm glad that our contract negotiations have gone through and everything has worked out well for all of us, and I can continue to be on this show. So I'm good to hear about that.
There you go. People were like, "Where's the Podfather? Where's Podfather? The new superstar of the Couch Potato Sports Show." It seems like
it's so hard.
It happens everywhere you go, right?
It's so hard being this damn good, really. I mean,
it's hard to be humble, right?
I mean, again, when you are the current champion of this,
then
you can only do so much. And I don't know. Chances are I probably won't retain it because. So I think Obi's pretty much got the heads up on everybody this year.
The only thing he can, unless he just goes into a nosedive, he has this thing. I'll think just pick all the favorites, and he's gonna.
Then my biggest concern is how do I beat you?
And you're one up on me, right?
I'm beating you right now. So
one. Is it one?
One or two games.
Let's find out. I mean, I got it right here, and it says that the Podfather has 143. You're 2 up on me. I have 141. So so you got can't win the whole damn thing. So now you got to try to beat me. I get it. I understand.
Hey, you got to pick your battles as you can get them right now. This is my only battle I have left.
Yeah, that's the one. By the way, I was going through the games. There's going to be some games where we're going to be different. I mean, I think anyway. It just seems like it because I know you and kind of how the way that you pick, and I know who I think I'm actually, this is weird. Normally, I'm pretty good at the beginning of the season, then I taper off. I'm actually getting better as the year goes on, but I got so far behind at the beginning, I'm not able to catch up. So, it's one of those things. But so that is my goal. I unfortunately don't think I think I might succeed to the one and the only Obi. But my next one is you. Now, over your left shoulder, I see you got something in the back, right back there.
The big trophy?
No, the other your left shoulder. Okay, maybe it's your right. The TC, you got yourself a new TV back there.
Yeah. Well, in my job every year around Christmas time, they do employee bingo,
Mhm.
and you enter a hopper, and basically before every game they play 10 games. Before every game they draw out 5 names. You can win an Apple iWatch. You can win a gift certificate, TV, whatever else. I happened to get picked, so I went up there and I picked the thing off the tree. And it was a 50-inch TV. So I'm like, cool,
How much? How big?
50-inch.
That's what I'm watching you right now on a 50-inch TV.
Well, I'm seriously considering putting that in this room. See, my oldest daughter graduated college yesterday.
I know.
And
I've seen that.
and
Congratulations, by the way.
And I asked her, I said, listen, you have a very small apartment. Do you think you can fit a 50-inch TV in there? Like, if it wasn't my bedroom, I probably could, but I don't really want that. And plus, they're moving to Belgium here in about a year or so. So, to go to grad school.
Pretty much giving up everything. You got to sell the whole
Yeah,
house.
and I mean,
everything.
there's no
So
way.
what's going on in Belgium that she's going to? Which listen, that's too cool. By the way, let me just say
It is. My wife's, or whatever she is, her dad lives out in South Carolina, but he goes to Belgium quite a bit, and he's willing to pay for her scholarship, or willing to pay for her college for her to get her master's out there in Belgium.
Wow.
So
okay, cool.
It's a huge
Now,
opportunity.
is that your swimmer? Is that your swimmer?
Yeah, the former swimmer.
Do they have a swimming thing out there or no?
She quit doing that. She quit doing that when she went to college.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she was burnt out around her senior year of high school, and she's been working on teaching. She did student teaching this past semester, and it's a little different than what she thought it was going to be. But no, she's I mean, I was so proud of her yesterday. I met her.
What school did she go to?
UNT.
Oh, that's where my 2 daughters graduated college.
Right.
North Texas University, the home of the Mean Green, right?
Right.
Congrats.
Yeah,
hey, I do have a complaint about that.
Is there any point in me talking? Every time
no, because I've got to, because how did I this is what I did when I went out there. My wife broke her foot, so we just kind of did some faking, and put her in a handicap spot, and I got an actual fold-out chairs. Those chairs at UNT, man, I couldn't get my
it wasn't fun.
So, anyway. So did you sit in one of those narrow seats, or did you do what me and get a folding chair?
Can I talk now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm more than happy to. I met my daughter out there, her and her boyfriend, and me and her boyfriend were reserving seats for everybody. And I squeezed my little fat ass into this small ass seat. And I did this about 5 months ago when my youngest daughter graduated high school, because we did the graduation in the same place. And I'm about 40 pounds lighter than I was then, so I was thinking that would help a little bit, not so much. No, it was. I mean, now had I sat in the handicap seats, I probably would have fit better. But we were reserving those for my in-laws, so while we were doing all that, it was a matter of just trying to, get everybody seated in the same section. Because like during my middle daughter's graduation, we were all separated. Me and my son sat in one area. Melissa and Dakota sat in an area with her boyfriend, and then my in-law sat in another area as well. So we're all finally bunched up into one area, which was nice. And the big surprise was, and I didn't know this, and actually none of us knew this until he showed up, my mother-in-law had contacted her ex-husband, Melissa's real dad from South Carolina. He flew in to be a part of this.
Oh.
So it was very, very surprising. I hadn't seen him since me and his daughter separated. So, it was kind of cool to see him. And, we talked for a brief minute. What's all happened in the last 3 years? I'm pretty sure, a whole lot's changed since then. But it was very cool to see both my daughters there, and to be a part, because when my daughter graduated high school, my oldest daughter graduated high school, I couldn't be with them around that time because I was excommunicated from the entire family at that time. And so to actually be there with them and to have to have a little bit of closure with that, it was kind of nice. And of course, hey, it's a prop of me. She graduated less than 4 years of college, so very good for her.
Yeah.
So proud of her. And again, I know she's gonna take some time off, and she's going to Mexico City here, or down to Mexico with her boyfriend here in about a month, and then she's going to South Korea in about 3 months with my other daughter. So she's just getting the travel bug out the way. Do it while you can.
Absolutely, that's the time to do it when you're that young.
Yeah, so good for them. And I was happy that now. I was also happy that a former boss of mine sent me some money, and and then I get a nice little PayPal thing for $100 saying "Merry Christmas, my friend." I'm thinking this is awesome. I thanked him, whatever. That's just a message. Then later on, he texted me later, says, "Yeah, can you send that money back? That went to the wrong person." So I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So I was
this is a fuck you.
Huh? Do what?
I guess this is kind of, get the second message. It's kind of like a fuck you.
I'm like, so it's not Merry Christmas, my friend?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. This is the same guy who went on, did a Facebook Live thing and thanked me for all that I did, then deleted it within 5 minutes that he did it. So I'm like, it's about right.
Hey, story of my life, kind of thing. Whoa, look who's in the green. Okay, I think we might have to bow down to this right here. Might end up with the bragging rights trophy for this year. I guess I'll add him. There he is. What's going on, big dog? Good to see you, Obes.
We can't hear you.
You're on
muted.
mute. You muted yourself. Unmute yourself. There he is.
Good morning, Podfather.
Yes, sir.
Quite the entrance. That when I came in, it was like, wow, that's loud.
Well, yours is loud. I gotta switch that. I'm just lazy. I don't do a lot of that stuff, but I've been so busy because the Santa thing and the coffee thing. I've been so busy. I haven't had time to really jump into a lot of things.
Is Santa on schedule for this year?
Listen, man, I'm telling you right now, I've been such a busy Santa. It's unbelievable. It's just one of those things, kind of. But it's a good thing because it's a lot of fun too. Yeah. I'll give you an example. I walked into what I did yesterday, and all of a sudden, 2 hours and I'm telling you, want to talk about flies by. 2 hours flies by, and and before you know it, I'm walking out the door, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, 2 hours. Yeah, it's time to wave goodbye. wave goodbye there. Busy. I like it, and it's a lot of fun.
Do you charge by the hour, or do you charge just by each appearance?
Depending on who it is and what's going on.
Okay.
Yes, I have like one client that I've already done 3 gigs for them. So I kind of give them a little bit of a break and stuff like that. But normally I hit them up pretty good because they're willing to pay for it too. And I'm one of the cheapest ones. See, my mentor, now I kid you not when I tell you this. My mentor is Santa. And that man, wherever he goes, makes in between $250 and $300 an hour. Okay.
Holy crap.
Not the whole thing, which is what I make, an hour.
Wow.
Man, I can't even. And dude, I'm telling you right now, from November to December, that's all he does. And he said when he retires, completely retires, he can live off Santa. I mean, that's a goal of Sonny right there. I mean, we're all going to get screwed when it comes time to retire.
Okay.
But that's what I want.
Then I'm challenging you to this. You see how my name is listed as the Podfather? Obi is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Change your name to the Cheap Santa.
The cheap Santa.
Santa.
The affordable Santa. Come on, you gotta use the right word.
No. See, people can spell cheap. They can't spell affordable.
So, that's a great idea, Podfather, because we have good Santa, we have bad Santa, now cheap Santa.
Santa. Oh, okay. Maybe maybe the next show.
We can have bargain basement Santa.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bottom of the barrel Santa.
BBS is going to bring you a bunch of BS.
There you go. So yeah. So this year's been really good. It's my second full year doing it, and this is 2 years, and it's going to probably be very about there next year. So that I'm really hoping for that kind of thing to get better, and but I've had a good year, which is it was part of the plan. I'm slowly doing this. It's not just jump into it.
What you need to do is, because you don't shave the beard down at all. You always keep it going all year long. So from January to December, just always be Santa and say, hey, get your stuff in now. So by the time December rolls around, you've already got it taken care of.
Believe me, there is a game plan. There is actually a game plan to build that up, actually. And I'm leaving that to my wife. She's 10 times, okay, maybe 100 times smarter than I am. So I just let her do that and go from there. But that being said, of course, that's the name of this.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Every Sunday we get this guy on here, and he brings such a wealth of knowledge each and every week about his Pittsburgh Steelers. And this week he's here again to bring it on. The best smile on the internet is Bryce. What's up, Bryce? Good to see you, my friend.
There he is with that damn thing on his shoulder.
Yeah.
It is great to see everyone. You know what, Podfather? You know what I love about the show today is that Obi and Sonny have their Kyler Murray red on.
Hey. I'm not like Santa.
They have their Kyler Murray red on.
Santa, believe me, it's not. It has nothing to do with that.
I love it. Oh, it does.
That little pipsqueak in Arizona.
Secretly love this guy. He wish he was on your team. You know what's funny? Hey, Podfather, you want to know what's great about this riveting Kyler Murray analysis is that both of these guys, in quiet moments they don't talk about, they would absolutely take that guy on their team right now. He'd be a better option than anything they have right now.
Bryce,
you need to go get drug tested. You need to get. I would have.
Obi is literally saying Kyler Murray is not a better option than what he has on his roster right now.
Well, no, I did not say that.
That's how much of a hater he is.
You said
that's how much of a hater he is.
No, listen, no.
And the thing is this, Sonny, would you take Kyler Murray or Geno Smith?
See, and that's the funny thing that you say that, because I hate neither one. I hate either one of them. I'd pull my quarterback off the practice squad before I take those guys, because
clearly, Sonny hates the black quarterback.
But really, who would I take right now? Or is it right now or over their career? That's what I want to know. Right now, I take Geno Smith right now.
Right.
That makes me want to.
Listen,
I just puked in my mouth. Oh my God, that was bad.
We all know that these quarterbacks are not the Sonny Clark quarterbacks of choice.
Because they'll never win a Super Bowl.
They got to be. They'll never win a Super Bowl. They got to be drafted between rounds 3 and 7, and they've got to be at least about sub 500 quarterbacks, but they bring that lunch pail to work with them every
game.
Right?
Godfather,
I'm waiting for the last one, and he's white. That's what I'm ready for. And he's white. No. Listen. Those that did not tune into the rest of it, my Super Bowl picks of who's going to be in the Super Bowl and who would win, both of them freaking lost last week. So that tells you right there, you guys might, if you're thinking the same thing, you might be in a lot of trouble.
But Podfather, yep. Obi is literally saying we have him on record. Kyler Murray is not a better option than what he has in his quarterback.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
That's
what you put the words in my mouth. I did not say that.
He just don't want him.
They would take.
I don't want him.
They would both take him in a heartbeat.
I'm going to take this most recent actions that happened on Thursday night.
Okay.
For example, this is what the Cardinals should have done when Kyler Murray threw his temper tantrum on the sidelines and pouted and cried and whined and quit on his team in the playoffs. Exactly what happened to Campbell on Thursday night. He walked off and he left his team. He quit on them. He quit on the locker room. They can't depend on him anymore. And so that is my view of, yes, that was Kyler Murray's second or third year, whatever. That's Kyler. That's his character. If he's going to pout and whine and cry and then stand there and not go back into the playoff game, he quit.
Hey,
he quit on his team.
As much as I hate to say this, and I know character has nothing to do with football. I mean, once you get a murderer back on the football field, character kind of just gets thrown out the window. But I can't let it go. I got a character problem with certain players and things of that sort that I have a hard time. And you know who I'm talking about as far as murderer is concerned. You know, the Mr. Ray, Mr. Ray.
Oh, Lord, are we still doing this?
Yeah. Well, no, I won't forget it. The guy's a murderer.
I not murder anyone. Please stop.
He was okay. Maybe he didn't actually do it, but he's sure
he
part of
it.
Absolutely, he was sure part of it. You need to watch the documentary. And everybody just lets this guy. Everybody just lets this guy go like he's the best thing that ever played the football. Instead of bringing the character portion of it in, which is what I do. I can't stand the guy. He's a murderer. He shouldn't.
He is not a murderer.
He's an accomplice to a murder, and he should have been in jail just like all of them.
Yes. Here we go. Here's the last question about Kyler Murray, and we're going to be done with this.
Okay.
Podfather, you asked Sonny, who do you want better, or who do you want right now, Geno Smith or Kyler Murray? Knowing how I feel, how that man right up there, how he feels about this quarterback, I'm going to say, you ready? Sonny, right now, would you take Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins?
Well, see, but here's the problem with that. Because
no. Yes or no? No. Who would you take? Who would you take?
Kirk Cousins. And the reason why I would, I would is because
mute his mic. Mute his mic. Can we mute Sonny?
No, he's a host. You can't do it.
I can't use
he can't mute himself.
Oh my Lord.
Character has a lot to do with it. You want to talk about a guy that is disinterested in being a football player? It's Kyler Murray. Sorry, he is. I mean, and hold on. And that also being said, the Arizona Cardinals are a bunch of wusses. And I'm just going to say that right now. They should have said, well, if you don't want to sign the contract to take 4 hours out of your week, off hours, then we just can't.
Listening.
And this guy, he's not dedicated to football, Bryce. He's not. He is not dedicated to football the way
I'm not listening.
You
I'm not listening. As soon as you say you want Kirk Cousins over Kyler Murray, I stop listening.
Well,
stop listening.
That's ridiculous. Right. That's right. No,
you are out of your mind.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That was a great question. This is how you. This is a prime example of how you know that this argument is nonsense because Sonny Clark would take Kirk Cousins right now over Kyler Murray? That's all
listen, I don't want Kyler Murray on my football team. He is a quitter. He is a nobody. Never mind, he's not, what is he, 5'9"? Can't even see over the line. He's got the most batted balls in the NFL than anybody that is out there. Okay, if you can't get the ball over the offensive line's head, how the hell are you going to be a decent passing quarterback? No, give me Kirk Cousins. You're absolutely right. And it just because character does, when it comes to my team, has a lot to do with it. Now, if you want a murderer on your team, you can go ahead and have a murderer on your team. You know, it's just me.
Yeah, it is. You know what? That's out of that whole nonsensical diatribe, that's the most truest thing you said. It's just you. Exactly.
It might be right. So
okay, so wait. So Podfather, let's reverse that. Obi.
Yeah.
Right now. Who would you take on the Browns? Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray?
Unfortunately,
your team. Hold on. Your team, not the Browns.
Sonny, the question's for Obi, not you. Shut the hell up.
No, I want to add into it. Your team, not the Browns.
Throw one of your two
your
cents.
team, like mine.
Okay, we're talking to Obi. We're talking to the master of the picks right now. Okay, this is the guy who's beating all of us right now. So just shut the hell up and hear what Obi's got to say.
Okay, so you guys didn't really put a contingency. You know how I can answer this question.
I don't even want to hear this answer.
Yes.
I'm not listening either to this. Matter of fact, you keep talking.
I would if character and I knew that this guy would win me games, I would take Kyler Murray. But I am like Sonny. I cannot get over the fact that he quit on my team.
Absolutely.
I can't what's the word I'm looking for? I cannot rely on him when the time gets tough. I can't rely on him.
Exactly.
Kirk Cousins right now is god awful. I can't rely on him either.
But remember, he's a Sonny quarterback. So
I don't care if he's a Sonny quarterback. I don't care if Sonny has. I don't care if he has a man crush on him. I don't care.
I mean,
literally
again,
right now.
Drafted between rounds 3 and 7.
Right now, I would rather keep my current quarterback over Kyler Murray.
Oh, okay. Wow, your current quarterback. Well, hold on. Is that which one is that? Who's your current one?
Jameis.
Okay.
Not Deshaun.
Lord.
Hey, at least Jameis.
This stinks. This is total BS.
No, see, this is how you know. This is how you know that these two have become Podfather, the nonsense twins. So we're going to talk about Jameis Winston, who was accused of something similar that Deshaun Watson was.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about character when it comes to Kyler Murray because of what he did in the playoff game, which I'm not defending, but we're going to use character to say, oh, no, I would much rather have Jameis Winston.
Well, no, wait, hold on. Outside of Krabs, what did he do? Because I don't know the history.
A year if you sign Jameis Winston. We'll take him over Kyler Murray.
Hold on. Outside of stealing Krabs, what did Winston do?
He was accused of sexual assault.
I did not know that. So that's pretty pathetic too.
But you asked me.
What?
The question is, stop. But the question is, who would you take right now? Yeah. I know what Jameson did before. Yes, I have raked him over the coals before about it too. But you're asking me, who would I take right now? If you're going to require me not to look at the character part, I would take Jameis Winston because I know that he could get the ball down the field. Yes, I'm gambling.
Yeah, that's a huge game.
Nonsense. You see, Podfather, I knew it. What did I come on saying? What did I come on saying about their nonsensical Kyler Murray takes? You knew it was going here.
Listen, look, if it was me, I picked Jameis Winston over the comedy aspect of it. Okay, I mean, let's face it. God meant no interception. At least he found God, as opposed to Sean Watson. Did he miss God in the process? So
deliver me from pick sixes.
Yeah,
this
if you want
to be entertained, go ahead and take Jameis. If you want a better quarterback, you take Kyler Murray.
you want a guy with better character, you take Kirk Cousins.
No.
But
Hey,
neither.
look,
by the way, the three we're talking about
going to amount to jack squat.
There you go.
I hate when you do that shit. Look. Here's the thing: Kyler Murray, with the right players, the right system, the right everything, is he the top quarterback that he thinks he is? Maybe, but he's not going to have that with Arizona. He's not going to have it with anyone right now because because injuries play a part in every team out. Look at the Niners; they're beat up. They can barely beat anybody right now. So he's going to be struggling, and because he struggles, he's going to suck. That's just who he is. He doesn't like diversity. He can't handle adversity. That is, I'm sorry, and I mean, because that's so big on him, he's going to struggle. So we can hate on him all we want to. He's their only option that they really got.
Well, that's different than if you like the guy or not. If that's the only option, that's totally different. But then again,
I got news for you. I don't like Jerry Jones. I'm stuck with him.
Well, that's what happens when you're.
I don't like Deshaun Watson, and Cleveland Browns are stuck with him right now.
How many games this year has Jameis Winston started?
I don't know.
Maybe
5 or 6.
Yeah, handful.
Kyler Murray has thrown 8 interceptions all season. Jameis already has 9.
Yeah,
in 5 games. But no,
the interception machine.
I would rather have Jameis Winston.
Yeah, but that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. The fine co-host is here.
See me.
After this nonsense, he probably doesn't want to be singing. It is what it is because he happens to be the fine co-host of this program. He's like, I don't want to be seen, is what he's saying. Good morning.
There he is.
There he is.
Good morning, guys.
Welcome to the debate.
Welcome.
I'm sorry,
Cuervo. Is that what we're calling this?
Cuervo, as the fine co-host of this show, I'm sad for you that you're being subjected to this utter nonsense that we're hearing.
Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams?
That's not a.
Hit the Bryce. Can you hit? Can I get the Bryce real quick, please, for asking that question?
Oh, you mean what? You mean get the Bryce?
What?
That one right there. That one right there. Colby, what are we talking about here?
Who would you rather have right now? Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams, quarterback in your team right now.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb. 1,000% Caleb.
Why?
Why? Because I think there's more potential there. I think that he's playing a little bit better. I think
but Kyler's good. According to Bryce, Kyler's good.
He is good.
I know. I mean, he is playing good.
I'll say he's good, but I'm not going to say he's the best thing to come along since.
Nobody's saying that.
And I can think of 20 other quarterbacks I'd rather have besides Kyler Murray. 20.
They're all white.
20.
They're all.
Is that where this is going, Podfather?
Yeah, he can list 20 quarterbacks. Don't mean that they're better than him.
It's not Garoppolo. It's not.
That may be true, Bryce. That I won't argue with you about. That I won't argue with about. But
go and put Cooper Rush in the mix too while you're at it. I mean, come on, he's a hard worker. He sucks, but he's a hard worker.
Kirk Cousins. Cousins is 0 in his last 3 and has like 8 interceptions. But no, we would take him right now over Kyler Murray. Hasn't thrown any touchdown passes.
Yeah. 5 of them in one game, wasn't it? Or 6?
Kirk Cousins is taking a huge nosedive lately.
Hey, Cuervo, who would you rather have right now if he was on your team? Who should start? Jameis Winston or Kyler Murray?
Jameis Winston I would take Kyler.
It's not.
Jameis is a.
You know why, Cuervo? Because you're actually a sensible man. That's why. You actually have.
I try to be. But it goes back to because I was in the waiting room for a little while, and I heard some of the talk about Kyler Murray and Jameis, and which doesn't surprise me that he's already got like 8-9 interceptions in 4 games.
Turnover machine.
Obi's ready to sign me up. ridiculous.
It's better what we have.
Yeah.
Well, because he's got good character, Bryce. That's why.
Yeah,
He has good character.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Let me
Character
tell you
has no
something.
place in football. I get it and I understand, but
Cuervo,
I still
the funny part is, Cuervo, you know what? As a Steeler fan, I want to encourage Browns media and Browns fans like Obi. Keep encouraging the team to sign James. Go right ahead. You know what? Yup. He says goofy things. They like him. He's a gunslinger. Go ahead and sign him up for 17 games. Let's go ahead and see how that happens.
Well,
I want him healthy and ready to play because
we're used to that because we have
lost. We understand that. If you sign that guy up, you're signing up for at least 15 to 20 turnovers.
Well, hold on. He's not. Wait. In Obi's defense, he's not saying he wants Jameis Winston for his regular quarterback. Okay, sorry. Let's just. What he's saying is based upon those guys who he'd want. Now, that being said, that's not who he wants to start next season for this football team. I don't think. I mean, if he
is it Obi?
Needs to be drug tested.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But
if the Browns, if they do what I think they're going to do, which is, well, I guess I would hope the first part would just let somebody go. Just let him go. He has proven that he cannot quarterback an NFL team anymore. He's done. Mentally, physically, he goes out there and it's like, what in the world is that I'm seeing? It's just I don't want Jameis because what they're going to do is they're going to want to sign Jameis and they're going to be nuts.
Oh yeah, that's because
the question was to me, do I want Jameis or Kyler? And I would rather have Jameis if it was up to me.
All right. Now that being said,
you would sign up for that in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? Same old Browns.
Now that being said, there was a chat.
That was the only two choices. Yes.
There was a chat that the Podfather asked Bryce from Brooklyn, and I have not been able to get back to the chat of what we were talking about. So, Bryce, would you rather have Trevor Lawrence? And who was the other one? We were talking? Was it Geno Smith? Is that what you said? Yeah, Geno Smith or Trevor Lawrence. Now, I said Trevor Lawrence because, first of all, I think he's better. And second of all, Geno Smith is Geno Smith. He will show up, I promise. Now, having been said, Bryce, who would you take? Would you take Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith?
What's this scenario? Meaning
on the Jaguars.
No. I want to make sure I get my answer correct and what I'm thinking.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's 2025. You need a starting quarterback for the season.
Yes. Let's say that.
Okay. I want Trevor Lawrence.
That's fair.
Because I personally, Sonny, you know what? Glad you asked. Let's shift to your Jaguars. Your Jaguars are the Browns of Florida.
Oh, God, if not worse.
Because, and here's why. Because you cannot tell me that Trevor Lawrence, when you watch him play in the skill set, that he can't be an extremely competent quarterback.
Never said
that. He
has
been set up. He has not been put. Look. Let me back up. I think they're recovering still from the Urban Meyer stuff. I'm disappointed in Doug Peterson. I thought that combination was going to do very, very well in the South. I am still high on Trevor Lawrence, but if it's Trevor, I think Geno right now in terms of the way he plays is right there. Like I would give Trevor, if they were both on the same team, I'd give Trevor the first 8 games. And if I didn't see what I wanted, he's going to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And Geno would be ready. I like the way Geno's playing. Geno plays pretty consistently. With Trevor Lawrence, I think you get a little bit too much up and down, but I just love the talent. So I'm getting a little bit seduced by the eye test. So I would say Trevor, but it's close.
Yeah.
See, I mean, my whole thing is this. When you take a quarterback who is currently, I mean, he's not winning every game, but he's winning, as opposed to a quarterback who can't get a win right now. And that sticks with you. That sticks with you after a long period of time. And that losing culture that you're around, that becomes a part of you, which is what is going on with Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying everything with Jaguars is his fault. Okay, clearly they got a lot more problems than this quarterback right now, but he's a part of that system, and he's not helping matters out. Now, if you put Geno Smith in there, would he have the same problem? Most likely, probably would. But I'd like to see a quarterback who would come in there who has seen more wins and losses lately than a quarterback who's all he's known is losses. So
there's a lot that Podfather. There's a lot to be said about coaching, especially when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look at the coaching situation when they were quote unquote good. Okay, all right, and look at where they are for the last two. Right now, the last two. Now, like I agree with Bryce from Brooklyn. When they brought in Doug Peterson, I was like, wait a second. This is an established head coach with the Super Bowl ring. Okay. This guy knows what the hell he's doing. So whatever he was selling, the players weren't buying in. That's a coaching thing, because if you are the coach, you've got to sell and you got to make sure your players buy into your system. And right now, for at least last 3 years, that's what Peterson has not been able to do with the squad that he has on there. And I don't think that has anything to do with what the GM has brought to this football team. I think it's a lack of being able to get across what you want. Now, that also being said, I'll shoot this to Cuervo. Cuervo, you got almost the same situation, but your team was smart enough to let the guy go. So, coaching a young football team, which is what the Jaguars and the Bears are, you got to be able to get across what you're going to do it. So I got the question. Now, before I do that, I'm going to have somebody pose a question about your Chicago Bears right now. Take a look.
I saw this article from the Chicago Tribune, and it was really interesting, and I wanted to talk about it. Speaking hypotheticals, and this isn't even very hypothetical, this is a very real thing that could happen. What if the Chicago Bears lose out this season? And they finish this year where they started off 4-2 with 4 wins. Are we so sure that Ryan Poles still has a job going into this offseason? We have seen hate come out from left and right for Ryan Poles over the past month and a half. Now, me personally, I still like Ryan Poles a lot. I feel like he's done a lot of good for this team. But at the same time, there is a decent amount of bad. But when I ask myself, if this Bears team really does lose out and they finish with 4 wins, does Ryan Poles still have a job? I think so. Bears president and now the dictator of the Chicago Bears, which who could have saw this coming, even though the only reason why he was brought here was to build the stadium, but now he's taking over football operations. Wow. He loves Ryan Poles. Loves Ryan Poles. And that's the one reason why I don't see him being fired regardless of what happens to end out this season. And the one way that he could really save his job for the future is, number 1, he has to hit a home run on this next head coaching hire. Number 2, I swear to God, you better build this offensive line this offseason. It needs to happen. What do you guys think about Ryan Poles? Bear down.
All right, now switch everybody around there. I'm sorry about
I was
that.
going to say, when did
Podfather become a Bears fan?
Go Bears.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We them boys. No.
Wow.
Look, I think he's spot on. I've seen that guy before. I've seen a couple of his, videos and stuff like that. So I think he's spot on, though. A lot of people are going to look at Ryan Poles right now because of all the nonsense and just the utter mess that's happened with the Bears this season. My thing is, I don't really like how he mentioned Kevin Warren, the president, kind of getting his beak in football operations. I think it's okay for him to just be in the know of what's going on. Do I think he needs to be part of the decision of who is hired as head coach? No, I don't, because that's not what the president, CEO of a football team does. That's not the norm. So that being said, I do think that Ryan Poles keeps his job, even though this season could end up with a 11-game losing streak to end it. And the reason I say that is because I think Ryan Poles will be able to follow through with getting a second head coach. And again, I mentioned this before. There's theories out there he didn't even hire the first one because it was a matter of, they kind of knew who they were going to hire, and then Ryan Poles came along. So it was kind of like one of those situations like that's happened in the past where they hire a guy, and this is confirmed, by the way. This is how dysfunctional the Bears have been in past. Hey, Ryan Pace, we're gonna hire, but you have to hire John Fox as your first head coach. Hey, Ryan Poles, we want you to be the GM, but we got Matt Eberflus. He's pretty much set.
Is he paused?
He just frozen mid.
So so that's it.
For a second.
His Wi-Fi's not doing good.
Yeah, kind of kicking it. But he is correct. The last GMs that they've
Ryan Poles has hacked his computer.
Yeah. Well, what he is stating is true. The last general managers, every single one of the general managers did not hire the guy when they went in. Okay, they did not hire their guy. And then some didn't even get the opportunity to hire their guy. So that's what he's going to, and he's not wrong, by the way. Just to let everybody know that has been confirmed, and it goes back the last 4 and maybe even 5 general managers for the Chicago Bears. It's not the coolest thing. Okay, all right. So I will go ahead and make the switch until we get Cuervo back.
Hey, look! Obi's a Steeler fan.
Yeah.
Never.
So, but that being said, the games today are very interesting because I was going through them and I was looking at them, and I know I watch how guys pick and stuff like that. This could be a very interesting week, even though OB has a stranglehold right now on the bragging rights pick'em game. This could be, if he doesn't somewhat mistaken, that he could take a nosedive. Go ahead, Cuervo, our Podfather.
No, just real quickly before we get on to this week's picks, just a quick comment about the elephant in the room that we've all heard about. Bill Belichick going to North Carolina.
Yes.
Does anybody here have any Ryan Dangerfield back to school moments where you're thinking, "Wow, this is so awesome"? I mean, his girlfriend can go get enrolled in North Carolina now, which is great.
Yes,
and
watch out. Yeah,
he's looking for young talent. Good for him.
Hey,
yeah, now, I don't want to talk about that part. That part is.
But the thing about that is I'm glad that was done, because then we can stop the nonsense of Bill Belichick going to Dallas or
I like what he said. How
glad that's done.
I like how he said he wants to use North Carolina as a pipeline to the NFL, which that's kind of what college football is already. But the thing is, now players are going to want to. I mean, this puts them on the map as far as wanting to go to a football school. Now here's North Carolina in the process, because now you got a real pro coach who's got skins on the wall, and obviously when he leaves in 3 years, because it may be 3 years, his son will take over, so there'll be a legacy involved, like a little succession going on there with that. But why not? I mean, we all know North Carolina is a college basketball town, or kind of college. Now you can add football to the mix. I mean, Mac Brown did his best with him, but then that fell apart because, again, Mac Brown.
I think it poses a question, though. I think that poses a question, what you're talking about, Podfather. Okay. Because if you take a look at the legacy of Bill Belichick, hey, I'm sorry, he's the GOAT. I'm just going to say he's the GOAT.
He's up there.
But do young people buy into what Bill Belichick will go to? And that's going to be the biggest question. Now, whether or not he'll get the guys that will buy into his greatness, that's the biggest question with young people. Because let's be honest, young people don't respect tradition. They just don't. Okay. And so what's going to end up happening is Bill Belichick being the football god whether or not they'll listen to him. So, by the way, we're back, Cuervo. Hop back on what you're saying, then we will wrap back around up on this Bill Belichick thing. Go ahead there, Cuervo.
Well, what was the last thing? What was the last thing you guys heard? I don't want to repeat myself.
You think Ryan Poles is going to be leaving Chicago?
No. I'll shorten up what I was going to say. Yeah, I think that he'll get the opportunity to get a second head coach, somebody that he's actually going to hire. On top of that, I do think that he's smart enough to know that the lines, offensive and defensive, are going to be his priorities. I don't see him drafting much else, to be honest with you, especially with the top three, let's just call it 50, because they're going to have 3 top 50 picks in the draft this coming year. So I believe he's got to use at least 2 of them, if not all 3, on the lines, offensive or defensive. It's got to happen, guys, or else he will be out after maybe a year or 2.
Just real quick, then, I know where those priorities should be, which is offensive and defensive line. But do you see him going after another wide receiver? Because it just seems like there seems to be a bitch fest going on at the wide receiver position with who you guys have as far as personnel right now. Do you see him going after a wide receiver in the draft after they take care of what they should take care of?
Only if the plan is to not bring Keenan Allen back. If Keenan Allen is not in the plans for moving forward after this season, then yeah, they'll go get another receiver, whether it's through free agency or if they draft somebody in the 3rd round, something like that. But either way, I think the priority is going to be offensive, defensive line.
Yeah, I just wanted to know about the wide receivers because there's been a lot of things within the news about that. So I just wanted to keep, having ideas.
Well, you mean the fact that DJ Moore's been dogging it ever since he got his extension? Yeah, that's been a topic of discussion in Chicago.
Absolutely. It has been. And I don't know how much you want to defend the DJ Moore or whatever the case may be.
Well, I'm not defending him at all right now. I think I speak for most Bear fans. We're not happy with the way he's playing. It just kind of has that feeling of, I got my payday, I'm good. I'm just gonna hit cruise control and whatever happens.
Yeah, because wherever he goes, if the Bears decide they want to cut loose with him, he still gets his money. So he's in pretty good shape. Now, wrap back around to the Bill Belichick. I'll shoot this to Bryce, and because Bryce and Cuervo, I think, are the guys that I like to listen to when we talk young players. Do you think today's young players are going to buy into Bill Belichick, even though, everybody knows who Bill Belichick is, but we also have the NAL where they're making money in college. They're doing all this, they're doing all that. What do you think will happen as far as that's concerned with the Bill Belichick?
So it's an interesting move by UNC. First and foremost, I don't know how long Belichick is going to stay. It's hard to say, but here's why it could be longer than people think, because the business of college football and the way the teams are constructed are moving to more of an NFL model. They're bringing in more of these GMs. They need people that can manage the money.
Yeah,
and players are moving a little bit more like free agents now. I'm not necessarily mad at it. That's a whole different story, because I think a lot of these college coaches, which have basically had a monopoly on these kids' lives for years, they don't have as much power, and they don't like it. And I'm all for players having more power. Podfather, we know Sonny Clark goes crazy because he loves to see the players shut up and do their job. We won't get into that. But I like seeing players having more power. So he brings in Mike Lombardi. They're going to run this like basically an NFL farming system. So I think on the field, players will respond to that because of the skill level they know they're going to get coached at. Personality-wise, that remains to be seen, Sonny, because they're still kids, they're still students. Kids prioritize different things. Can Bill Belichick we've seen him do this before. Like people forget, and to Obi Brown's credit, when Bill Belichick was with the Browns, I remember watching him as a kid thinking this guy's never going to win a championship. I was so wrong because just the way he played football, it seemed to me very kind of archaic. But then he went to New England, he completely humbled himself. Spread football with Tom Brady. He wasn't that type of guy. Bill Belichick like smash mouth football. And so let's see if he older still has that humility left in him to be able to talk to kids in a way. Bill Belichick is a natural teacher. People forget that. He's a teacher. So maybe he'll find that stuff in him to be able to talk to the young kids. And even when they are getting paid money, still be able to relate to them from all of that pro experience. Not going to be able to keep everybody. But if he goes into it thinking, look, we want people that want to be here, the money's there, but at the end of the day, you're being trained here to get to the league, 1A, be in class, and do the things that are going to help you get to the league. So if he can relate and maybe push it like that, I could see him relating to the players, but not everybody. He's going to lose some. Some aren't going to want to be a part of it, but if he's humble enough to be able to come to the kids' level a little bit and not just like bear trap them down to the point where you just stuck here and you're going to do everything that I say. And if he's able to treat them more like young adults, young men, then I think it could work because he'll put the infrastructure in place to be able to attract recruits.
I just want to see him go to. I want to see him go to some kid's house and then have dinner with the mom and dad and do all the things that college coaches are known to do, and just see how his attitude gets over with the parents. Yeah, well, your kid's gonna play. Yep, sure, whatever. I mean, that matter of fact attitude that he has in the press conferences. I want to see him do that because I don't see him as a great salesman. I think his salesmanship is pretty much the proof that he has out there on the field. It's not so much what he can talk to you into. So, and college coaches, they have to talk a lot of kids who can go anywhere. They have to talk them into coming to North Carolina. Now, I'd do it in a heartbeat because they got the best barbecue. That's just me. But, yeah, I'm motivated by food. What can I tell you? But
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, so that's it.
Well, I mean, look, you have to also take into consideration, you also have to sell atmosphere. Look, college kids every kid is different, and you have to like the atmosphere you're going to. So that's going to play into it. So how he can adjust a little bit and say, hey, man, look, you want to come to North Carolina? I mean, North Carolina is a beautiful place. It's a lot of colleges around in that area. So we'll see. So not every kid is going to be North Carolina's cup of tea, but I think, he'll talk to the parents. I don't see Bill Belichick promising people jobs on the field. But if he wants a kid and they pay him, he's going to say, look, we're going to pay you. You're going to come here and compete. And you're going to come here and say, hey, look, you got to be able to get it on the field. And if he says that respectfully and sticks to it, I think the parents will respect it. Their kid's going to get the money they ask for. Maybe not as much, but, they'll negotiate that. And then he'll say, but look, if you come here and play well for me, you're going to get seen. And we're going to prepare you to go play and start in the league. And if that's for you, you come here. And if it's not, hey, I totally understand. Let's keep in touch. And, I wish you nothing but the best. And if he's respectful and not condescending and, talks to people in a way that's human, related to the story and where they're at, he could be very successful there. Sonny, you're muted.
He sounds good there. I'll give him that. I mean, so the best he ever sounds when he's muted. We can't hear a word he says.
Wow, just
there. I couldn't get the button to work. I'm sorry. So Cuervo,
Godfather is Shawn Michaels, and Sonny, you are Stan. He loves super kicking you, man. It's out of nowhere.
I just kicked Stan.
Cuervo, what's your take up on that? And I'll shoot it to Toby, and then we'll get into the games.
Yeah, I'm not 100% either way on this one yet. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I can see Bill Belichick, just his kind of like what the Podfather was saying, his history alone, his reputation, I think is going to help sell some kids to go there. And especially when you're talking parents, a lot of dads that are football fans, they're going to be like, they're going to tell their kid that, look, this is a great opportunity. You're going to play for one of the greatest coaches of all time. And so that's the way he could, get some kids to go there. I just think overall, North Carolina, it's a very hard school to sell to college kids to go there and build something, because North Carolina, the University of North Carolina is a basketball school. Let's just call it what it is, right? It's more of a basketball school, and it's not really known for its football program. So what do they have there as a football program that's going to really sell, these 17, 18-year-old young men to want to go to that school over somewhere like a Clemson where you got Dabo Swinney, or somewhere in the South where the SEC, I mean, it's just loaded with good coaches, good talent. You got opportunity to win championships down there. So what's going to make North Carolina stand out from all those other schools that have a lot of history of winning in recent, with Bama and Georgia and a little bit of LSU and Clemson, who's won a couple titles.
SMU right now, who just won the ACC, is got to be looking like going down.
Yeah, SMU's in the playoff. Texas is in the SEC now. Oklahoma. Like, there's a lot of tradition down there. There's a lot of history with really good coaches that are damn good at being a salesman, like the Podfather mentioned, being a salesman. So the only thing that Bill Belichick can really live off of was the fact that he won 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. But is that going to be enough to sell kids to go play for him at the college level?
Yeah. Obi-Wan, what's your take up on Bill Belichick in North Carolina?
A real head scratcher. But I've been listening to all you guys, and I've had my own thoughts. My initial thoughts were, wow, that's a home run swing that North Carolina is hoping that they connect on. Because, yes, Bill Belichick, he is the GOAT amongst coaches. He coached the GOAT in quarterbacks. That was Bryce. What has Bryce always said on this program? It's about the coach and the quarterback, right? It's kind of where it begins. I think the name itself will bring players, like I think Cuervo and Podfather were saying. Now, can Belichick's coaching style work with 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids? I don't know that, because I've talked to some of my buddies, and, they follow football very closely, and there was many a player that was in that New England locker room that did not like Bill Belichick, but they played because they liked winning more than the coach. And there's ex-NFL players that say this guy could be a real ass. Now, how many 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids that, and we go back to what you said, Sonny, they don't respect. There's a lack of respect there. And the first time that Belichick gets in their face, I see some players, some kids going, I don't want to be here. I'm going to go somewhere else. But he has to stay there for at least a year or so. And so that's one of your better players. Is that one of the players that you signed and brought here to have the winning program? And now he's just checked out because I didn't like coach getting in my face? You have a problem there.
Sonny, you're muted.
Sonny, can't hear you again.
I agree with you. But I think the next question is, unless you want to listen to my alarm, my wonderful clock at the top of the hour, I could have that. But the only thing about that is that it's going to be I think within, I wonder how many years it's going to be with a mass, exodus out of there. I really do. I wonder how that's going to be based upon the kids and how they react to that kind of thing. Because say whatever you want, today's players are so coddled, and Bill Belichick is not a coddler. But here's one of the last thing I want to kind of look at. I want to look at Mac Jones. Okay. Mac Jones, he was not able to develop this guy. I'm not saying he should have been the next Tom Brady, but God, could you have been maybe 60% of what he was? He wasn't. He isn't. I get to see it. He's not. Now you got players who are a little bit smarter based upon what he did last in the NFL. Will he be able to bring whoever he's going to bring a quarterback to fruition to where they will be considered within the draft? That's going to be the biggest question. Will his players be considered on the top part of the draft? Because guess what? All those guys are ACC dudes, right? And, and other players, but not. When was the last time a first-round draft pick came out of North Carolina?
The quarterback.
Oh, I know the answer.
Quarterback.
Yes.
I know the answer.
What is it? Who is it, Cuervo?
Mitch Trubisky.
There you go.
Nope. It's not Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, no. You're right, Brian.
It's Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Great game this year as a rookie, North Carolina.
Yeah, and with the quarterback whisperer at the quarterback coaching, that coach Peyton as well. So, keep all that in mind.
What an overreach. Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah.
So young players, I will even put it this way. Young players, they're not stupid either. They may not respect tradition, but they see what he did the last few years with the New England Patriots without the GOAT at the quarterback position, which was not able to develop a quarterback from Mac Jones, who was I know he was first rounder. I forget what number they got him at, but he was a first round draft pick and highly touted as well. It wasn't just the Patriots that were going after Mac Jones. So I think young people look at it, they see it, and they go, well, maybe he lost a step. I don't know. But
he was like top 15, Sonny. Mac Jones.
Yeah. Something like, but first round.
Yeah.
Because that was the thinking of Doug Peterson. Well, I got 2 first-round draft pick quarterbacks, whatever. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day because it is. Now, that being said, Obi, how long do we have you for?
Probably about another half hour.
Half hour. Bryce, we got you for about another half hour? All right. So I will let you guys pick the games. I will start with Obi. What game do you want to talk about right now?
I'll tell you the game, but I first have to say I looked at before I was on the show. I looked up Cleveland Plain Dealer, which is a newspaper in Cleveland. Here's a title of a story. And this is epitome of Brown's organization.
Okay.
I know that we are bad.
I read it. I'll say it. Say it out loud.
Browns hope to play the Chiefs tough.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
Are you freaking kidding me? I know we're bad, but you don't say shit like that. I'm sorry.
Well, they're definitely not realists.
Hope.
No, I mean, say something else. Hey, we're looking to go out and go out and play as hard as we can, and we have this playbook. We're gonna follow it, and we're gonna have our yards. Hope, God, come on. Anyway, I circled 3 games that I would like to talk about because I feel like that they're not really. I think. If we're going along our pick 'em stuff, 3 games that I circled, and the very first one, a game between 2 really bad teams, and I know it's like, well, what are we talking about this game? Jets at Jacksonville.
It's a tough game.
I mean, I'm just like, what do I do? I haven't picked this game yet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk. I have Jets, Jacksonville, Green Bay at Seattle, and the third game that I had circled was Dallas at Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those games are bad, and the other game, it could be a really good one. But Green Bay is going into Seattle. So let's start with Green Bay at Seattle. Let's do with that game.
All right, Green Bay at Seattle. And I will tell you, at home, we always thought about Seattle with the 13th or the 12th man and what they bring to the table outside of just the guys that are out on the football field. This is a different atmosphere now, I think. I could be wrong, but I think there's a different atmosphere. It's not as rabid. It's not as crazy. It's not as, oh my God, we got to go play Seattle in the 12th man. I don't think too many teams are afraid of it anymore, Obi. So are teams afraid to go play in Seattle? Or what's your take upon what you see?
I feel like that this game, Green Bay, they have the players, they have the experience, they know the weather, they played in bad weather. I don't think weather's going to have a big issue, even if it's sunny, cold, whatever, rainy. Green Bay is a good team this year, and Seattle's won 2 or 3 in a row, something like that. They're on a hot streak, but they played the Cardinals. Really, I don't know who else they've won, but man, I initially was going to pick Seattle. It's like, oh, they're playing at home, and now I'm kind of hesitating. It's like, well, Green Bay, they're a good team. They played a hard game last week against the Lions, and I just don't know. I think Jordan Love, and in the end, I think Jordan Love, this could be a close game. He's going to figure out a way to win a ball game on the road. I think I'm going to go with Green Bay, unless you guys talk me out of it.
All right, then we'll shoot it over Podfather. What's your take up on this one?
Well, since I'm already one up on Obi on our picks this week, I can just pick Green Bay, and as long as I stick with the same picks Obi's doing, I'm doing all right. I mean, because somebody picked the Niners this week.
Uh-huh.
Obi.
Yeah.
No. Sonny, you got my message, right, Sonny? I picked the Rams. You got my message.
He just didn't get his pick in, but he sent me a message like right after the game started that he was a Rams guy. So he did.
Hey, Sonny, I picked the Rams too.
Yeah. But you play. Yeah. Gotcha. Understand. I can't add the point. I can't add the point, but yes,
I picked the Rams. I changed it right at the last second.
Yeah, sure. But
last second, Sonny, you can't go in and change it and add the point.
Unfortunately, I cannot. Yeah, that's not the way it works. It's got to be in there, and there's not a place where the commission of the league can go and make the change afterwards. There's not, and I don't think Tarvin tells me that Yahoo sucks. We should do it on ESPN or whatever the one he's talking about, and I'm like, well, no, this is easy. I don't have to think. The less thinking I do, the better for everybody anyway. So that's usually the best thing. But back that being said, back to the game. So, Cuervo,
Green Bay.
Podfather hasn't made his pick yet.
Oh well, I was going
to kind of overlook me. I mean,
I don't know. Hey, do I got to come back and get him or get him? But we'll get it now. Go ahead, Podfather.
No, I have nowhere else to say now.
Okay, cool. All right, then Cuervo, what's up?
I'm tied with Fred. I'm tied with Fred in the pick 'em because I did pick the Rams, so I'm really tied with Fred for second.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
So both of you are 5 games behind me. Okay.
Yeah. Actually 6, I thought. Maybe I was wrong. But
you guys gained a game already, so it's 5.
That's a chair shot right there. That's a chair shot.
All right, then Cuervo, Green Bay. I know you hate those green men from up north.
I do. They suck. Is that enough for you to change your pick, Obi?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's tough for me, guys. I'm looking at, this injury to DK Metcalf. I don't know if it's gonna roll into tomorrow night's game. Is he gonna play? Is he 100%? Like, that's a big deal. Like, DK Metcalf, we all know is the number 1 target in Seattle, and if he's not at 100%, it's gonna be a hard time. Now, the hope that I have for Seattle is that Jordan Love likes to, turn the ball over. So, Will Seattle take advantage of that? Will they turn it into points? I don't like that Kenneth Walker's not. I think he's out for this game, if I'm not mistaken, which is a big blow.
That is
Seahawks. So right now, and of course, I got until the end of the night to, start of that game. I got till later, but as of right now, I'm gonna pick Seattle to lose. That's what I'm picking as a
because he won't admit that Green Bay will win. Yes, that's just what Cuervo does. So I will swing it back to Bryce for Brooklyn. You look at it, and then I will get Podfather's pick after that because I thought we were going to swing back around anyway. But that's okay. Bryce from Brooklyn, go ahead.
I think this is going to be an interesting game. This seems to be the time Jordan Love starts to play better in the end of the season. Seattle has kind of struggled a little bit. They were able to get a come from behind win, I think, against the Jets a little bit ago, and they mirror their quarterback actually, which is they never give up. They stay in games, they play tough. But I think in this game, when you look at coach and quarterback, which I always, I love to zero into that. I'm going to take the coach and quarterback in Green Bay over the coach and quarterback in Seattle. Tough game, but I think the Packers go ahead and pull it out.
Interestingly enough, if that was Pete Carroll, this would be very hard for me to pick. And now, I'm going to give some Geno Smith love. Are you ready for it? Pete Carroll got Geno Smith to play like an NFL quarterback. Okay. All right. Before he got there, let's all admit this guy sucked. Okay. If you want to refuse to believe that, that's fine. But Geno Smith sucked before Pete Carroll got his hands on him. Okay. He sucked completely. Pete Carroll was able to sell Geno Smith what he was selling. Now, the new coach, is he capable or able to do that as well as Pete Carroll? I'm telling you right now, if Pete Carroll was the head coach of this football team, I would take Seattle right now. But he's not. And I don't think the new coach can or will get what Pete Carroll could get from a Geno Smith. So that would be my reasoning why. And not only that, whoever said that, I forgot who said it. End of the season, give me Jordan Love all day long and twice on Sunday. Okay, towards the end of the season, I'm playing well. Podfather, who do you got in this one?
No, I got the team that is not the Chicago Bears, but the Green Bay Packers.
Gotcha.
No, look, I mean, the 12th man thing, that all worked under Pete Carroll. That worked under Russell Wilson. It's not quite the same system as it was then. I mean, you can't expect that to be. I mean, it's almost like the myth of Lambeau Field. When you have a great quarterback who can take a team and do what Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers did back in the day, you equate it to, well, that's Lambeau Field for you. But there wasn't so much them when you had Lynn Dickey. So I mean, there is a difference, right? So.
Yes.
Jordan Love, like y'all said, Jordan Love, he came on strong last year at the end. We saw what he did in the playoffs, and I know my team paid for it. So, I mean, this is his time to shine. This is his time to really – I think he's still kind of like, are you going to be our quarterback? Are you what we're going to invest in here for years to come? And he's still under that influence, I think. So I think this is a game where – it's almost a must-win for them because Seattle's tough. They're not great, but they're tough. Mm-hmm. They're tough out. And they can find ways to win a game even when you're not looking. So give me the Packers, but it's going to be close.
I don't even think it's going to be close because I think we will finally.
Well, you're an idiot.
I know that. You don't have to say that. I knew that. I admit that week in and week out. So there you go. Anyway, but I think I actually think that this is not even a close game. They win by 10. So, all right. So that being said, I'll go to Bryce for the next game that's on there. Which one do you want to talk about while we have you here?
I mean, do we even have to? As a matter of fact, here's the way I would like it to go. Let's start with the Browns and the Chiefs, since Odie is here. And then after that,
yes,
let's go to one of the games of the week.
One of the real games that are
and then we can go
very easy for all of us to pick.
And then we can go to Bills and Lions.
Right. Bills and Lions. You don't want to talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers?
No. I said let's do that after Browns and Chiefs.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Good.
Okay, I'll start. Since it's Brown, we're talking about Brown.
He just said that, Sonny.
I'm sorry, Chiefs. There you go.
Chiefs. I don't.
Chiefs.
Cuervo.
Chiefs, but you know what, Obi? Why do I have this funny feeling, this weird funny that somehow, some way, the Browns could pull off?
Come on, Brownies.
You want to know why? Because
you're reading that.
The Chiefs have been skating by and getting lucky, and all this just recently.
By design.
That's why. If there's a game that they could get had, is this game.
I think this is by design, Obi. Listen, they go into every game and they just do the bare minimum because they're saving themselves for the playoffs and the Super Bowl. And that's the reason why they're in games with the friggin' Carolina Panthers,
so
which they should blow out of the freaking water,
The Chiefs are bored?
They could be.
I think
very well, but yeah.
I think they do just enough to get by in the regular season. And then you watch who they turn into come playoff time.
I agree, 100%. Because they can care less about the regular seasons more so than the three-peat.
You know what?
That's what they care about.
But it's always weird. Kansas City always looks at the clock, 5 minutes left in the game, and go, "Oh shit, we better do something to at least get this win out, otherwise we're going to lose this thing."
Yeah, maybe we should throw to Travis Kelce.
And I mean, they grab the referees and go, "Guys, whatever it takes, do what you got to do. Whatever it takes." And sure enough, they've had an act of God clink a field goal right off the damn upright. I mean, they've had everything known to man. They got the power of Taylor Swift behind them. The power of Taylor Swift behind them.
Taylor Swift gods.
Literally, these games that they're literally playing down to the team they're playing.
Absolutely,
right.
And they look
I fully agree.
5 minutes left, and they just go like this.
Yep.
They flip the switch.
It happens every week.
Very few teams can do that. Very few teams can do that.
Yes.
They don't have, and very few teams have the personnel to do that. That's half of it too.
Sure.
So that being said, then Steelers and
I haven't given much Browns and Chiefs.
We all. Oh, you want to do that one first? I thought we all just said Chiefs, right? I think we all just said Chiefs, right?
I mean, obviously, I'm going with the Chiefs, but to Cuervo's point, and it disgusts me but makes me smile, I now have to become the biggest Browns fan in the world. Go Brownies. Yeah. Come on, Jameis. YOLO your way to a win. Listen, I want to see 10 explosive pass plays. Just chuck it downfield.
Thanks, Bruce Arians.
Play not to lose. I mean, play to win. Go for every fourth down. Come on, Brownies. Play with some pride. Aren't you in Cleveland today? The game's in Cleveland, right?
They're in the pound.
Play with some pride and get a win. Not for Cleveland. Get a win for your football fathers in Pittsburgh. Support your father. The team that has owned you multiple years, and show us the proper appreciation and go out and get a win.
Yeah.
Time out. They're playing in the same place where the Dallas Cowboys destroyed the Cleveland Browns at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But we're also playing in the same place that we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Cowboys and Steelers.
But
they're only 2 wins, or they got 3?
Imagine how all this works.
You know what? 3. I totally forgot that not only can the Podfather chair shot me, but in opening week he could chair shot Obi too. He's beating both of us.
Absolutely, he chair shots.
It's disgusting.
Everybody. Now that being said,
I have very few less to claim. Very few things to claim this year. So I'm taking my head swat taking.
When I went in last week on Sunday and I peeked at the schedule for next week, I have been dying to find out not the 1, not the 2, but the 3 keys of the Pittsburgh Steelers to, beat my Super Bowl champion pick for this year, how they're going to beat these guys. And I've been waiting with bated breath. So, Bryce, give us your 3, insights in today's game that gets the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the 2025 Super Bowl champions Philadelphia Eagles?
What are they called? The Philadelphia Beagles? Is that what their name
is? So let's Sonny. I actually have a request.
Okay.
But, it's a big matchup.
Philadelphia Pigeons. Wow.
it's a big matchup. I got the talent matchup.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I would actually like to go last here, if you don't mind.
Okay. All right.
So you go in whatever order you want. I want to hear everyone. I came on this show today because I wanted to hear everyone else's analysis of how and their picks of how it's going to go.
Okay, and then I'll go first because it's really simple because I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. And then based upon your answer, and it's a yes or no, or it's a one-word answer. Who has the best defense of the two teams that are playing today? Is it the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Philadelphia Eagles?
That's a good one.
Wait, who's answering? Who's answering this right now?
Well, I shot that to Bryce. I shot that to Bryce because
he should go last. He should go last.
Well, this is based upon mine. So who do you have then, Cuervo? Who's the better defense? Is it the Philadelphia Eagles or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I got to go with the black and yellow. They're playing way better right now.
Black and yellow. Obi, who's the best defense? Is it the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Philadelphia Eagles?
Right now, I'm going to have to say Philadelphia.
Podfather.
Yeah.
Which one is the better defense? I thought that's what we were talking about.
Yes. The better defense.
Yes. That's the better defense.
Yes.
It's tough. He's pushing. He's showing how scared he is to make a pick, and he's pushing.
Here's the only problem.
I'm already made my predictions. I ain't worried about it.
All right. So that being said, we'll wait for Bryce in Brooklyn. I get why someone would say the Pittsburgh Steelers because of the best defensive player on the planet right now. I completely get it. But overall, I don't think they're as good as the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Cuervo, don't you start that.
I
swear,
that means I am on Philly. However, if the Philly team that showed up last week goes into this game against Pittsburgh, they're going to lose. However, I'm gonna roll with the punches. I'm going Philadelphia in this game. I think they're the better overall team. Even at the I'm going to even say it. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts right now than Russell Wilson as well. So just kind of put it out that way. And I don't think that's a stretching craziness that I know how to bring up. But that's who I got. I'm going Philadelphia. Podfather, who do you have? And Podfather, after you're done with your analysis, check the private chat. I sent you a message.
Me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Private chat. Okay.
I sent you a private chat thing. So go ahead. That being said, what's your analysis on the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles this week?
Well, while the Eagles are the top-rated defense in the league right now, and the Steelers are number 7, that doesn't say a lot about what they're doing on offense. So, can Jalen Hurts get the job done? Steelers look pretty comfortable with Russell Wilson being at the helm right now.
Yeah, they do.
And I think that is going to be, again, I'll take a top-rated quarterback over a top-rated defense any day. And Russell Wilson is in a better situation than he is than Jalen Hurts is. So give me the black and yellow in their own hometown, not because my buddy Price is sitting there with a towel, which I don't know.
Well, no, they're in Philly.
They're in Philly.
They're in Philly?
Yeah.
Well, nothing good happens in Philly, okay? I mean, let's face it, nothing good ever happens in the city of Brooklyn.
He changes that immediately.
You should have known that was coming. From the Cowboys, you should have known. From a Cowboy fan, this was actually kind of predictable.
Hey, I mean, if look, the Eagles don't impress me. I'm sorry, they don't impress me, and my team sucks, so I can say that. But I mean, they don't impress me to be anything that I think is going to be in the Final Four this year. The Steelers are doing enough to where I can see them getting in the conversation in the AFC.
So you don't think Philly is in the conversation in the NFC?
Not really.
Okay, cool.
Well,
no, because I can see them being paired.
Master, he picked all the team. Last year.
Take it in. Come on.
So,
no, but no, I'm gonna go Steelers only because I think they as a complete team, they may not be number one on everything, but they're at least together being the same quality team, more or less the Eagles, where I'm not sure what they are offensively. Defensively, they can be great all they want. That may not be enough though. Because what are they going to do on special teams? What are they going to do when it comes to turnovers? Yes, they've allowed less touchdowns this year. That's good. But where are they at field goals right now? Where are they at turnovers? I mean, there are things I want to see. Other stats I don't want to look into right now. But it's more of a feel. But and no, it's not because I hate the Eagles. Because I hate other teams more than the Eagles.
But you do.
I mean,
okay.
not quite to the point where you hate the Packers. But
damn right I do.
But I mean, who do you hate more, the Lions or the Packers?
No, Packers will always be my number one.
No matter what. To me, it always be the
Commanders. As they should.
To me, it always be the Commanders, even under the other name they were at. So I mean, it'll always be that for me. But the Eagles, do I hate them? I'm not too thrilled with them, but I mean, I don't think I'll sit there and cheer against them because I want them to lose. I just think that the Steelers are a better team.
There you go. I just asked. I wasn't criticizing. Obi, what's your take up on this one? I'm really interested in Obi's. Then we'll go to Cuervo and get
Obi picks this. This is
I thought Bryce was going to do the whole children like.
Here we go.
Tough game to pick. I think it's going to be a tough game on the field. If I was going to do my top three, I think my top one, my top point would be right now is what does the offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles and the defensive line do for the Pittsburgh Steelers the opening drive of the game? If Philadelphia can come down, give the rock to Saquon, and Saquon gets his yards on that first drive, and they punch it in and go up 7-0, I think Pittsburgh could be in trouble. Now, Pittsburgh could come out, and I'm not going to say do a 3-and-out opening game or opening drive, but let's say Pittsburgh bends but doesn't break, and Philadelphia drives down and they only get a field goal. I think that's a win situation for the Steelers right there. They said, hey, you know what? We bent, but we didn't break. We didn't let them in there. They didn't do a tush push on us. We stopped them and made them kick a field goal. That's going to get in the minds of the Philadelphia Eagles and say, wait a minute. Well, we're in for a tough game. I just think the trenches are big in this game. And even though the Philadelphia defense pretty much laid an egg last week.
They did.
It's in Philadelphia. It's going to be cold. It doesn't matter to Pittsburgh. Philadelphia gets the win over the Pittsburgh Steelers today.
Interestingly enough, looking at that game, I honestly think third down is going to be the biggest story in this game. Third down, okay. And then if you have to go, if you got to go fourth down, you got tush push, depending on how many yards they got to go. Cuervo, what's your look?
Yeah, so I did look at some numbers just now as everybody else was talking, and I know that everybody's all hyped up about the year that the Eagles are having, and Saquon Barkley's been running the ball down people's throats and all that good stuff, and Jalen Hurts has been playing like a good quarterback, and he's not great. I know for fantasy he's doing pretty good because that's who I got in one of my quarterbacks. I have a super flex league. Here's where I see the problem though, and this is why. Is this a morning game or is this going to be later in the afternoon? Okay. This is why I'm leaning Pittsburgh, but man, because of the fact that the game's in Philly has me concerned. Here's what I would say is that. So Philly's been playing, like I said, they've been running the ball down people. So guess what the Steelers do well? They stop the run. They're number 4. They're number 4 rushing defense. So if the Eagles are going to win this game, they're going to have to do it in the air. Well, what's been the issue with that lately? Now you got Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown bickering at each other about getting the ball. And, it's another whiny situation in Philadelphia, just like, they had with Owens back in the day, about not getting the ball enough. So really that's why I'm leaning Pittsburgh right now, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough to to actually get them the victory. So I think that they've been, the Eagles have been relying on the run a lot. And I think that you got these issues now with Hurts and A.J. Brown. So it's not that Hurts doesn't, just can't play quarterback no more. It'll just be a thing where he's going to go to Devontae Smith. He's going to go to Dallas Goedert. I don't know if he's back or not, but they're just going to push A.J. off to the side again. And if I know that, if Sonny knows that, if Bryce knows that, then I'm sure the Eagles know that. And the Steelers, they know what's going on with AJ, so they're gonna rely heavy on Devontae Smith. So with that said,
that's the
more talented team is the Eagles. Don't get me wrong; they are the more talented team. But who's playing better from a coaching standpoint, from a team effort standpoint, from a just football? It's the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. They're playing more team football than the Philadelphia Eagles are. So all those things have me wanting to pick the Steelers, Bryce. And that's what I'm going to do for the moment. But obviously, I reserve my right to change it later if I choose to do that. But something tells me I think they've been relying on the run a lot, and I think the Steelers are going to do enough to stop that. They're going to slow it down.
I'm going to be honest. I don't accept that. It's like, this is that being said, you got to pick. No hedging. No, I reserve my right at 4:15 to change my pick. Come on, fine co-host of this show.
Forget to
you going
it.
with the Eagles or you going with the Steelers?
Okay. Hey, you know what? I've been put on the spot before. I don't mind it. Bryce, I'm going to go with your Steelers.
Interesting. So before we get to Bryce, I'll throw one more set of numbers out to you. The Philadelphia Eagles pass defense, second in the NFL with passes large, only 178. The Steelers, 218. The only difference is, though, when you look at the pass offense of the Philadelphia Eagles, only 180 yards. So even though you got that going on, it makes you kind of wonder. But then look at the pass offense for the Steelers. They only have 206 yards per game. That's 23rd in the NFL compared to the Philadelphia Eagles at 31st, meaning one less than the worst in the NFL. Hey, Bryce from Brooklyn, knowing that, I don't know if that helps you make a decision on who you were going to pick or not. I don't have the not one, not two, not three keys of winning the game like you do. So what's your take? So what do you got coming toward us?
Obi, you want to say something real quick?
I was going to say that what Sonny's stat that he threw out about the Philadelphia Eagles pass offense and averaging
170 yards.
But that's kind of a misleading number, because I say that because you got to look back and you got to look at the game control. Philadelphia Eagles, if they're running the ball and they're running successful, they're getting 5, 6, 8 yards a chunk. You don't have to throw the ball.
That's coaching.
That's coaching.
Yeah, they're just running people over.
Yeah, they're just running
exactly. If Saquon's going to run out of his mind, I mean, why don't you just feed it until they stop it? Like Obi and I, we have termed the phrase when we were back, seeing each other every day, putting your foot on their throat. And if that's within the running game, that's exactly what you have to do. Yeah. Run the damn ball.
Yeah. And I mean,
Steelers are going to have to do a lot of that.
Podfather, and the quarterback can run too. Now, we say that Podfather and Sonny Clark goes crazy, but that's also a big part of what makes Jalen Hurts a good quarterback. So they've been running people up.
He's dangerous.
Yeah, because it's more than just Barkley. You got to deal with the quarterback. You can have the wheels as well. So, but then again, when you force him to throw, that's where the problems you're going to run into with Jalen Hurts, because he ain't the most accurate guy in the world. So. And he might have some weapons around, but he has a hard time getting to him. And plus, when he's being rushed out of the pocket, that mind of his doesn't think is let's go to my quick dump out right over here. Let's just aim it down the field and see if he can score something big. Mm-hmm. He's trying to play Madden football on a real NFL team,
right?
And that's hard to do.
And that also being said, the Philadelphia Eagles, number 1 in rushing offense, and the Pittsburgh Steelers at a respectful number 8. So that's kind of something to look at. So, Bryce, let's go. What you got?
Come on, Bryce. Stop hesitating.
I'm going to use a Mike Tomlin phrase. It's a 5-star matchup because we're in it. Pennsylvania State Championship. We represent the WPIAL, the Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic League. Great tradition, high school football.
Aliquippa. Oh,
let's get into this game. Okay, so the 3 keys today to beating the Philadelphia Pigeons. When you think about this game, first and foremost, and this is kind of a hidden stat, Sonny, you alluded to it with 3rd down. I think for Pittsburgh today, they got to win on 2nd down.
Oh, okay.
Because even if you get a good play by the defense on 1st down, Pittsburgh this year has been giving up these 2nd down plays that allow teams to get the 3rd and short. And you simply just can't get the 3rd and short against this bunch, because if you allow them to push their way down the field for scores, they're going to control the game and put you in bad situations. So Pittsburgh has to win on 2nd down and get them into 3rd and long and take your chances based on what a lot of you have talked about with the passing game. So I want to see them win on 2nd down. Number 2, you got to slow down Saquon by any means necessary. It doesn't matter how you do it. You can't let this guy just go off, because if he goes off, Pittsburgh will literally have no chance to win the game. Dominique Foxworth, who I really like on ESPN, he brought up a really good point last week on the Bomani Jones podcast, that what makes the Eagle offensive line so great, Lane Johnson, we know about him. The middle of their offensive line is mammoth. They have guards that are like 6'6", 6'7". They're like tackles. So what they've done is they built an offensive line that can withstand big defensive tackle people. And they just move them out the way. Saquon Barkley's stats, like his yards per first contact, it's like 1st in the league. You give this guy, he's got 4 yards before he's even getting touched. You just can't stop it. Like, if that's going to be the way we play today, or they play, you can forget it. Like, Pittsburgh has no chance to win this game. They're going to have to be tough up front, push these guys back, get some penetration, and not be moved. Because if you can't do that, and those big guys can get to Patrick Queen and the linebackers, then you can't beat them that way, because then everything opens up. The quarterback zone read opens up too. You're going to be chasing all type of stuff. You're not going to be able to stop them. So that's key number 2. You got to slow him down. And then number 3, we're going to have to get a great game against the offensive from our offensive line. Quietly with the injuries and the rookies. Zach Frazier from West Virginia, 1st-round pick, has been great. I think he can be the next, I'm not going to say Pouncey, but a very high-level Jeff Hardings for Pittsburgh for a lot of years, which is great. Jeff Hardings was a really good center. Mason McCormick, the 5th-round draft pick, I think is the future at right guard, doing a lot of great things. Tough, they're nasty. Pittsburgh offensive line, quietly, guys, ranked 12th in the league now.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to step up. You want to take the next step? This is a defensive line you got to block. Davis and Carter, beasts. That's a balanced breakfast over there. We know about Dean. We know Philadelphia gets into the wide 9 and they're hard to block. We know our tackles can sometimes be. Broderick Jones has been playing better, but really it starts inside. We're going to find out about this rookie center. We're going to find out about Mason McCormick. We're going to find out about, we know Isaac Seumalo, who came from Philly, is a really good left guard. We're going to see about that interior of the line. They're going to get tested. The team in terms of on paper, I think this is a very even matchup. I love the comment about special teams, Podfather. That slipped my mind. I think we have the better kicker. I think we have the better special teams. Pittsburgh has been winning games by playing complete football. But when you look, that being said, that's the name of the show.
Yep.
The Eagles are actually my pick to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I think they are so talented. Their talent, they're one of the few teams where their talent can make up for gaffes from the head coach. I like our coach better than theirs. The quarterback situation, I think you have Jalen Hurts, young, ascending quarterback. Russell Wilson has been playing outstanding football. But I think when you add all of the talent around them, the secondary is uber talented. Pittsburgh will be missing Larry Ogunjobi on the defensive line, a starter. You'll need him against this offensive line. You're missing him. You're missing Deshaun Elliott, who's been their starting strong safety. Great guy, great player. The Pittsburgh Steelers are missing George Pickens. He will not play today. So their receiving room is going to be receiving by committee. Mike Williams can catch the go ball, but he's not George Pickens. I think when you add all that up, super close game. I think Mike Tomlin can muck this up, keep it close. I think Pittsburgh can make some plays, but the Eagles overall and their talent, just right now, it sickens me to say it. I'm picking the Eagles to win in a close game.
I think when I look at this thing, as far as your losses, obviously Pickens on the offensive side of the ball is huge. But when I think you're listening big time, I can't say his name. What is it? Ogaboli?
Ogunjobi.
I got news for you. That guy's a stud. Not having him in the lineup, I think, is going to be a big time loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers as well.
But let me also
say
this,
penetration better than most on the defensive line.
Let me say this. Because we have Cam Hayward, our talented guys, our stars, our 5-star guys are going to have to show up in a 5-star matchup. But let me say this, and you can put me on record here. If those 5-star guys show up, we've seen Mike Tomlin, the Bengal game, week 1, 2022, the Bills game, 2021, the opening game. We've seen Mike Tomlin teams show up. They like playing in these big-time games. If the Pittsburgh Steelers go into Philadelphia and they beat the Eagles with these injuries, you can bookmark me right now. They are going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh. You got that on tape?
Let me say it again.
I'll cut that out and I'll put that out there. Yeah.
If they're able to go into Philadelphia, I know the Chiefs are waiting. They got them in 2 weeks. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to go into Philadelphia against this talented team that's healthy and ready to go, and they find a way to pull this game out, I'm ready to say the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Wow. Hey, that'll save Tomlin's that'll save Tomlin's job.
No,
what have you done for me?
He has to do it. He has to just jump in.
No. What have you done for me lately?
Tomlin's job is not in jeopardy. Please stop.
10-3, please.
I know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying this helps him keep his job. It helps.
You know what I call that? I call that the Matt Eberflus. Everything was good. Everything was going great until the very end. He found a way to mess it up.
Yeah. You mark this down right now. If the I'll stand on it. If the Pittsburgh Steelers go in and win this game, they are my pick to get out of the AFC and go to Super Bowl.
Wow.
They could be, if they beat the Eagles, or they can beat the Chiefs.
Well,
They can beat anybody.
I get exactly what you're talking about, because when you look at the number overall, as far as the defense is concerned for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're giving up a lot more than what that's going on. I get exactly what you're talking
Pittsburgh
about.
wins this game with no George Pickens. Let me tell you something. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Even if when's Pickens supposed to be back
to the Chiefs, I'm still taking them in a playoff moment. Even with the Chiefs, I got the Steelers. You win this game, this would be one of Mike Tomlin's all-time road regular season wins. If he can win this one, that tells me, yup, this team can get out of the AFC and go to the Super Bowl. They're going.
What is the status of George Pickens? How long is he supposed to be out?
Oh, that's a hamstring. Out this week. They think he'll be ready for the Ratbirds, but we'll see.
Hammy.
Hey, listen. Hammies and high ankle sprains.
They're tough.
They're tough. It's a 6-week injury is what it is. But here's the thing. When teams are desperate, they bring those guys back too quickly. And we've only seen that. That's history happening. The question will be, what kind of desperation will the Pittsburgh Steelers be in order to bring him back?
I don't see them trying to bring him back too early. I mean, he's not freaking Calvin Johnson. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Steelers are going to be fine with that.
Well, if they lose the next 2 or 3 games, there will be some pressure to bring him back.
He's there. Look, yeah, Bryce, you're right. He is their number 1 receiver. But
right.
is he a difference maker like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase?
No, he's not as good as those guys. But I tell you what, I think Pickens is a top receiver in the league. I don't think he's those guys.
He's top.
I would put Pickens
top 5.
Right now. I would put George Pickens in the top 15. Absolutely.
At 15. At 15.
I wouldn't put no higher than that. I think I'd go higher. Anywhere between 10 and 15.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
I think
I don't know. I mean, maybe we see it different.
Really high. So, all right, cool. All right. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. I got Obi and Bryce about ready to check out. But before we
you want to do the Bills Lions?
Sure, we can do that.
All right, then I got to go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hold. Okay. So the Lion game is where we're going to go then.
I want to.
All right.
Who's going first? Bryce, go.
Well, you picked it, so you go.
I'm not ready for this yet. Bryce, you go.
I'll go.
I'm not ready for it.
All right, go ahead there, Bryce.
We don't like to use injuries as an excuse. And this is why I'm saying if Pittsburgh wins,
coming along.
This is why I'm saying if Pittsburgh wins, which no excuses, you got to go out with the team you have. They're able to, but it does say something about your team when you win with injuries. And so that's why I'm saying if Pittsburgh with these types specific injuries beats Philly, let's go to Super Bowl. The Lions are super beat up and they continue to win because Dan Campbell, if I can even say this, has shown he's got some Mike Tomlin in him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really the way the players relate to him, the way he's able to get teams to play his style of football, that's a physical football team. I mean, you're either losing the game against them or you're losing the fight. But you're going to lose one of them. So teams can win the game, but you lose the fight. If you lose the fight, you're probably going to lose the game. Mm-hmm. That's the way they get teams to play their style. So in this game, obviously you have Josh Allen. Josh Allen is playing out of his mind. I really respect how he has elevated his teammates because he doesn't have like a top 10, 15 receiver, but they all work in tandem. The defense, similarly, no-name defense, but they get after you. And let me tell you something. I question the Bills when teams, if you want to line up against that defense and do what the Lions are going to do, can the Bills hold up? I think with the way the Bills play, I think they're going to put a lot of stress on Josh Allen. Dan Campbell's going to say, okay, if this guy's going to be Superman and beat us, let's go see. But we're going to smack him in the mouth. We're going to make him play our style of game. I think this is definitely a 5-star matchup. It's in Detroit. I know the Lions are injured, but it's like they play almost like a wounded animal. Mm-hmm. Like you wound an animal, and then it comes at you to kill, and they play the same way. And I think Jared Goff is able to level off just enough. I got the Lions beating the Bills in Detroit.
Wow, Bryce, were you reading my playbook? Oh my God.
I asked you to go first.
I'm telling you. Here's where this game is going to come down to. I'm just because I'm not gonna go any other scenario. You've said everything that I wanted to say, but I think it's going to come down to the end of the game, and it's going to come down to coaching.
Oh, okay.
And I just think that Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills has these moments to where he has brain farts.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down to that. He's going to have a brain fart, and Dan Campbell has something up his sleeve. And he has not shown it all year. And he just waits for that right moment to pull it out of his little pocket. You know, he's got this great big, play chart, and he's got that red flag in his pocket. In his other pocket, he has like this little secret play that he's going to throw out there. And it's going to make Sean McDermott blink. And game, set, match. Detroit wins this game at the end with some sort of weird-ass play. It might come early in that last drive. It might be the last play. I don't know. But it's something that Dan Campbell's been waiting to do, and he's got his players. They're literally over there salivating, waiting for this moment, and the moment is now. And like Bryce said, Dan Campbell has these players playing at a different level, and they're wounded and they're hurt, especially the defense. Now, last week we saw, what was that play that everybody's like, holy shit, Dan Campbell has some stones. Dan Campbell had to make that call at the end of the game on Thursday night because he didn't trust his wounded and injured defense to stop Jordan Love. And this is going to be the same this week. It comes down to the end of the game. The Lions have it. Dan Campbell is going to make this outrageous call that where he's either going to be the hero or they're going to say, what the hell were you thinking? But he's going to do it. And again, somehow they're going to find a way and the Lions win the game.
I take a look at this and I go back to last week where the frickin' Buffalo Bills defense gives up 44 points to the frickin' Rams. Okay. All right. And we're talking about the Rams. Okay. All right. Who
beat the Niners?
Who beat the Niners 12-6 on Thursday Night Football. So, and it's sticking. And matter of fact, it's stuck in my mind through this whole thing. But more in the fact that, and this goes back to what you were talking about, the brain fart coming from Sean McDermott, okay? Who is what? The defensive guy, right? He's not the offensive coach. He's the defensive coach. And this is where they've been running into problems. We've been talking about for the last few years, what's wrong with Josh Allen? Really, is there anything wrong with Josh Allen? Or is it the freaking defense that can't freaking show up when they need to, and especially in big games, which is what today is, okay? And that's what makes the difference in today's game when you look at it. And whether Detroit can be the team that is salivating, to play, and, they're wounded, but after they win, they get to eat. They're at home, man. They're at home. And if my prediction of the Buffalo Bills to make the Super Bowl is going to happen, they got to start this week. So I'm going to go with the Bills because I think they're the better team, minus the hiccup from the defensive side of the ball that Obi's talking about. Whether or not they can go through the whole game to do it, that's going to be the big question.
Cuervo. The Bills are a better team than the Lions?
I think they are. I think they are right now, based upon the personnel that is out there. I'm not saying.
So you're talking about based on injuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and sooner or later, those injuries catch up, and they usually catch up at the end of the season or in the first two rounds of the playoffs. So, Cuervo, what's your take on Lions and the Buffalo Bills? Two of the juggernauts. But you can actually say this could be a Super Bowl matchup if you wanted to.
Could be.
And a lot of people say that this is going to be a Super Bowl matchup, which leads me to believe it's not going to be a Super Bowl matchup because we do this every year. There's this type of game every year, and then it just never happens. happens. And it's not a letdown. It's just, I don't like hyping games like this up because it just doesn't. It rarely ever happens. But anyway,
yes.
I don't want to make it sound like this is a cop out for me, guys, but I really don't have much to say about this game. There's two of the best teams playing each other, very talented teams playing each other, and it's just going to be a really good matchup. Like it's going to be one of the. Let me tell you something. This afternoon, guys, these for me, 1:30 games. This is going to be some of the best football we've had all season. That slot of games right there alone. You got the Battle of Pennsylvania. You got Bills Lions, and then you got the Wife's Broncos. But those two games alone, man, I mean that's going to be some must see TV. Let me tell you. But for me, it's very simple. I like Detroit in this game just because the game is in Detroit, and to kind of piggyback on what Obi said. Something that I think Dan Campbell's going to do. I don't know. Maybe Jared Goff lines up under center and Ragnall's the quarterback. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, when it comes to Dan Campbell, who the hell knows, man? But I can see what you're saying though. We've seen Penei Sewell play some tight end. We've seen Jared Goff line up at receiver. You're right. I mean, anything could happen. But I will tell you this: I guarantee you, he'll at least go for it on 4th down twice. I'm going to say the over/under of how many times the Lions go for it on 4th down is going to be 2.
It'll be over 50%. I'll tell you that right now.
That being said, when you're looking at this game, Podfather, you're talking about teams, okay, with the scoring offense, Buffalo Bills within the top 10 on all of them, as far as scoring, but their defense kind of lacks. But where I think the most of the big numbers is if you're able to stop the Detroit Lions in the second quarter, which they average 14 points a game, and in the third quarter, they average close to 9 points a game, that's where you win this football game. You got to stop what they do best, which that's what they do best right now. Are the Buffalo Bills capable of stopping that kind of offense that would be heading their way?
Well, listen, I've listened to Bryce. I've listened to Obi. I didn't pay attention to you, Sonny, because
of course
you're
not.
Then I paid attention to Cuervo. And I will agree with you on this. The Bills are definitely one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the AFC. They will be in the mix one way or the other. But so are the Lions in the AFC. And being at home has a lot to do with that. That home field advantage in Detroit right now,
crazy.
I mean, they've not had that since – they had it last year, but they haven't had anything like this to where they see where they want to go. They see the path ahead of them. Last year, it was kind of like, oh, my God, look at this. This year, it's like, okay, now we know where we want to go. And because the Niners aren't nearly what they were last year, because there is no one else in the NFC that's really worth a shit. As far as to their level, I see Detroit looking at this game going, guys, you want to play in the Super Bowl? Let's win this game. That tells you that we are ready for the Super Bowl. And I think like we talked about the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs are playing down their competition. The Lions got to play up to everybody's competition right now because they got to set the standard of being the hardest and toughest team out there right now, especially if you're going to go into the playoffs and play against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, who might be sandbagging right now until they get to where they want to go. So I think Detroit wins this game. I don't hear you, Sonny.
We can't hear you.
He sounds so much better when we do that.
Top of the hour, the music was going off. Sorry. I'm going to stick with Buffalo. I just right now.
Trust me. I don't want you to change.
No. This is the one I get it one up on you, and so I'm looking forward to that. So that's it. So that being said, before these two jump out of here, Cuervo's team, the Bears, are in action. Everybody was on I wasn't falling for the Bears. What they
don't
could
waste
do.
your time, guys. Don't waste your time. Next.
Okay. All right. So all right.
I got to get going.
No, go ahead. I don't have anything to say, but go ahead.
I got to get going. I'm going to take the Vikings in this game.
Vikings are out. So, all right, very good.
I got to go to, sorry, Cuervo, Vikings.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty simple,
there
guys.
you go.
No need to apologize to me.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. We'll see you next
All right, guys,
week. It
next
should
week.
be a real interesting week. Obi is he's got the juggernaut in the picks, and wonder if he'll go down. We'll find out.
He's already lost one game this week.
Yeah, already. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So that being said, we're at the top of the hour, the second hour. That means we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk to Annie and see what she has to say. As far as that is concerned, I love listening to her. However, I got a little treat for one fine co-host of this program.
Divisional foes battle on a Monday night. You smelling an upset tonight for the Bears? It'll be tough. They've dropped their last 7 heading into this one, but in rivalry games, you never know what you might get. I could see us winning on Monday night. The Bears? Oh yeah. Let's go Bears. The Bears. This delusion's been a torment through all my life. Believing in the Bears. The Bears! Heartbreak, but started quick out of the gate. Lost 7 in a row after tonight, it could be the Bears. A new coach, the cycle starts again. But all we really want is just a coach to finally win. Prime time, starring the worst team in the North. And if they lose again, not sure the fans can take much more. Give us a show now, come on Bears, let's go! The Bears! I could see us winning on Monday night. Oh yeah! The Bears? This delusion's been a torment through all my life. Oh yeah! Let's go Bears! The Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears, 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 Bears. Da Bears.
This week, Alabama fans are not dealing well with being eliminated from the playoffs. So I'm having them talk to Jets fans since they have 14 years of experience. The last time the Jets made the playoffs, Bill Belichick's girlfriend was 10. Okay, Lions-Packers, let's start with your game. With the win Thursday night, Detroit officially clinched a playoff spot. Green Bay, what is your defense's problem? Do you have any defensive backs that are healthy? We shouldn't have traded Preston Smith. Get out. Okay, it has come to my attention. Some of you still don't know what we're doing on 4th down. AP, Mike McDaniel, and Dan Campbell, get in here, please. We're going to play a little game. It is 4th and 2. Go for it. I haven't even said what you're. Hand the ball off to Montgomery. I'm only kicking a field goal if it's inside the 5. What? Look over some spreadsheets, maybe run some what-if situations. Can I get back? This is going to be great. People might die. I'm a little lost right now. Why is your punter going out there? Who do you think is handing the ball off? You are more unhinged than the Family Guy edit. Excuse me. Okay, moving on. Can you wrap up our game? We have better things to do. Oh, okay, sure. Still 12-1. I haven't seen someone look this bad and still act this confident since Carson Beck was on Snapchat. Before we move on, there is some coaching news. Bill Belichick is in talks with UNC. Not because of their program, but because it's a short walk from the stadium to his girlfriend's dorm room. Will someone teach Leonardo DiCaprio here about the transfer portal? Quick side note, Juan Soto left the Yankees for the Mets. Between that and Alabama missing the playoff, this is not a good week for Cowboys fans. That was a massive contract. Juan Soto got paid so much, you'd think he was about to ruin the Browns franchise. Moving on, let's do Giants Saints. Drew Lock started out 0 for 8. He was so bad he should start suing people. I heard that's what rappers do when they get dissed. Is it true the Giants hired an OnlyFans model? Yes, and ironically, she was the only fan there. Why are you smiling? What do you guys think? Cam Ward or Shador Sanders? Okay, can you try to focus on the season? It's week 14. In our defense, we were thinking about this week 4. So. Also, I'm sure you saw someone hired a plane to send a message before the game. That is the best thing a Jet has done at MetLife Stadium all year. Derek Carr did fracture his non-throwing hand, so we are moving on from him. He's brought nothing to this organization but pain. Wow, I haven't seen someone abandon a car that quickly since Rashee Rice. Can we talk about how we eliminated the Browns from the playoffs now? You know one thing about Russ, he will always get the ball to whoever's open. So will Jameis Winston, even if it's to the other team's DBs. Dustin Hopkins and Kadarius Toney might be a problem. Maybe you should try drafting a kicker. Okay, Falcons, Vikings. Somebody get Kirk in here. Why are you booing him? That was not us. In his past 4 games, Kirk has 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and is 0-4. I've seen Cousins score more often in Alabama. The question, when do we have to decide on Sam Darnold? Do you want Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy? Wait a minute. J.J. McCarthy could be anything, though. He could even be a Sam Darnold. He could be. Okay, Raiders, Bucks. Vegas, will you stop tanking? We're going to start tanking even harder. Antonio Pierce is worse than Art Shell. The first or second time? First overall pick. Thank God. Okay, Panthers, Eagles. Quick question. Is Jalen Hurts blind? No. Then why isn't he seeing A.J. Brown? He will be fine. He just hesitates a little bit. I haven't seen an A.J. this ignored since people found A.J. McCarron's wife. Also, there was a kid at the game who switched from the Eagles to the Panthers because Chuba Hubbard signed an autograph. That kid is still more faithful than Giselle. I think it's time to have a conversation about Xavier Legette. Yes, the only problem is no one will understand it. Will you get Louisiana Canaries Tony out of here, please? Lastly, a fan posted a video saying she got hit in the face with one of Jake Elliott's kicks. We know it's fake because her seats were between the goalposts. It is actually amazing how bad Mac Jones is. Hey, did you guys know we had Brian Thomas Jr.? I think we owe Josh McDaniels a little more credit. 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns, and we still lost. First time. Josh Allen does not deserve this. Okay, Buffalo, Sean McDermott is the worst. He burned a timeout after a QB sneak and then called a QB sneak. I haven't seen a tush push fail that badly since Urban Meyer was at the bar. Okay, Bears 49ers. Caleb is now the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. You say that a little slower. Caleb takes a little time to process. Chicago, Tyreek Hill has now had more newborn children this year than you had offensive yards in the first half. Can't lose on the last play of the game if you get blown out. Work harder, not smarter. Lastly, the Simpsons game on Monday night was a success. We are trying to appeal to more children. Maybe they'll enjoy football and stop throwing so many temper tantrums, unlike Micah Parsons.
Is justly assigned to this dog here. Abuser who hits the pavement
once
hard.
Again raised their prices. In response, we're bringing back our deflation promotion. The marketing department asked me to be as explicit as possible when explaining it, so here we go. Because we don't love f***ing our customers over like Big Wireless. We're bringing back our offer for f***ing unlimited premium wireless for only $15 a month. F*** me to the moon and back. That's a great f***ing deal. Explicit enough marketing f***s.
At the Jerry Bullet Training Center, we are a motivated team of coaches with the mindset of helping you achieve and reach your highest goals. Having developed and trained over 100 Division I athletes as well as Division II athletes, even professional athletes, the Bullet team definitely has the knowledge and mindset to take you to the next level. Check out our new 22,000 square foot facility and 3,000 square foot weight room, along with 4,500 square feet of outdoor turf and covered training area, along with football and soccer field. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit the facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett.
There is nothing that beats good home-cooked barbecue. Since 1941, Dickey's Barbecue has done all the cooking and you take all the credit. Come see us today at our Rowlett location, 5701 President George Bush Turnpike, Suite 110 in the Target Shopping Center. Whether you want to eat in or take it home, we will fix you up. For lip-smacking, rib-tickling, knee-slapping, foot-stomping, great-tasting barbecue, come see us at Dickey's Barbecue today.
Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. We specialize in everything that others don't, such as stained concrete floors, wood spot repairs on doors and floors, stainless steel spot repairs, anti-slip-on floors, and more. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors. Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607. That's 214-536-2607. Or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com. Rich's Performance Muffler and Auto Care has provided complete auto repair services to the Wiley area since 2003. Whether it's alignments, brakes, air conditioning, muffler service, suspension, front-end auto services, or in my case, a Cadillac converter, Rich does it all. Stop by and see him at 603 Commerce Street, Suite 203 in Wiley, or give him a call at 972-461-0776. That's 972-461-0776. You'll be happy you called Rich instead of anybody else. Welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show as we are getting into the final hour, as we'll be taking a look at the rest of the games that are on tap here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and Podfather as well. Here, Cuervo still getting more coffee, getting squared away. By the way, I don't know how much of the Annie Archer that you watched, or I cracked up through the whole damn thing. It was that was probably one of her best ones. She had some great one-liners in there. But hey, you know, we talk about chair shots. This girl knows how to throw a chair shot at whoever she's talking about from week to week to week. By the way, did you check the private chat message I sent you?
No, I did not.
Check that. It's really interesting as far as that is concerned. That being said, of course, that's the name of this show. Lots of really good games this week, you know, and I say that because when you're looking at the schedule, I think some of them were so obvious, but they're the two that I thought and I saw as far as the underdogs. I was on the Buffalo Bills. I'm actually surprised that the Buffalo Bills were a actual underdog in this game. I really did, just more in the fact because of the injuries, and Las Vegas doesn't like injuries. So I kind of thought that they would be there, but I'm going to go to your team. That being said, the Dallas Cowboys in action. There's Cuervo, so we'll bring him on in. The Dallas Cowboys in action. And this is a game, and I don't know what you want to believe about the Dallas Cowboys. Good, bad, or indifferent. Are they better than the Carolina Panthers? And I guess I don't think that that's a stretch of a question. Look who! Oh wow! Look, we got Blue. Is that his name, Blue? On your shoulder?
This is Blue.
Yeah, that's Blue. He's just hanging out with you. Is he drinking coffee too?
Yeah, he had a little coffee. He's all wired up now.
He's wired up. Yeah, there you go. So that being said, Podfather, your Dallas Cowboys, this game, obviously, with the Dak Prescott, I don't think there's much argument that they would win the game, I would think. This was probably one of the 6 that you saw on the schedule that you would have maybe put a W on. So I guess I'm going to ask you, what's your take up on the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Carolina Panthers? Not only that, as far as Carolina is concerned, they're home. Does that matter? What's your take up on what you think you'll see?
Well, originally I did have a W pencil in for the Cowboys. Then the week played out. Panthers are favored to win by 3. They're home.
Right.
I don't know what the give-up factor is Dallas has right now. I do know that they're not a better team than Carolina currently right now.
Okay.
Carolina has played in the last 5 or 6 weeks. Their games have been a lot more closer, a lot more tighter. They've gotten a few wins out of them. Are those the same kind of wins Dallas can get as well? Hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a good feeling about this game at all. I mean, 6-11 is pretty much the high bar I set for them. They shouldn't win anything more than 6. Doesn't mean they're going to hit the 6. I really, really think that this team, as constructed, here's the thing. Everybody made a whole thing. Well, when the season's over, Jerry's going to get rid of Mike McCarthy because Bill Belichick's name was out there. Now his name's not out there anymore. You got Troyman coming out there saying they should keep McCarthy. You got the players who he hasn't lost the locker room yet. Just that he took a poorly constructed team by the owner and is trying to make the best of it. And injuries have played a part in it. Bad picks have played a part in it. Bad management has played a part of it. Has nothing to do with the coaching. It has a lot to do with the management. So I can see where McCarthy might stick around, get at least a 3-year contract out of the whole thing, which would be weird because once again, I mean, who's Jerry going to get? Kellen Moore? God, that's scary. Pete Carroll might be up there as far as a name I'd look at, although I'm not a Pete Carroll guy. but he is that high motivating kind of coach that you want to have, like a Belichick. But does he want too much power? Is Jerry willing to give that up?
Even the birds laughing at that,
right.
Mike McCarthy thing, right? He's just laughing through the whole thing.
Hey.
No, that's him being annoyed. That's him being annoyed.
I don't blame him. I'd be
The
annoyed
state of the
if I was
Dallas
Cowboy.
Cowboys.
Just like most Dallas Cowboy fans.
Yeah, well, hey, look. One thing we didn't mention in the early part of the show, Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy last night. Travis Hunter from Colorado, so good for him. First ever two-way player to win a Heisman Trophy.
Not true, Godfather.
It's
not true.
No. You're right. Charles Woodson won it, right?
There you go.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so good for him though. I've got Carolina in this one. So I think the home field will play a part in it, and I think Dallas, they have, like I said, they haven't quit on the coach. I think they just kind of quit this season. And I think last week's game was, last week's game reminded me of 1993, Dallas versus Miami, Thanksgiving game, snow all over the place, and Leon Lett blocking the field goal, or the field goal being blocked, and Leon Lett tried to pick up the ball, fumbled it, and then the Dolphins got the ball back, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. That's what that game reminded me of. Now, that was not the make-or-break game for Dallas because they wanted to win the Super Bowl that year. But that was a different team. This team doesn't have what it takes right now. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They just don't have the current people in place to do it. So give me Carolina.
And since he stepped out, I'm going to ask you. You made mention about Mike McCarthy and maybe getting another 3 years, and how the team hasn't quit on McCarthy but quit on the year. I don't know. Is that a reflection of the coach? Because to me, that's a reflection on the coach. But however, and let me preface this: going up and winning games at the end of the season that mean absolutely nothing. I've seen in the history of the NFL people living and dying off of the games that don't freaking matter. I mean, it's reason why Brian Hoyer picked up his great big contract when he came in the last 4 games of the Cleveland Browns season and scored a big contract the next year. And then he turned out to be who he is, Brian Hoyer. But I just, do you think that the organization recognizes that the team has quit on the season more so than quit on Mike McCarthy, and that's a good enough excuse to keep Mike McCarthy?
Well, here's the thing. If you quit on the ownership because the ownership gave up on them this year, let's face it, Jerry Jones can say all he wants to say. He did nothing to make this team better. Okay? Did Mike McCarthy have any say in that at all?
No. Yeah, but do you think – but wait, I get what you're saying. But do you think Jerry Jones cares about whether or not that he can?
What?
Do you think Jerry Jones cares that whether or not that happened? Okay, all right. That's what I wanted to verify before you moved on. I'm sorry I did interrupt.
Here's Sonny. Who's he going to go get?
Hold on. Listen, okay. Who are you going to go get? I don't know the list. But I'm going to tell you right now, as the Dallas Cowboys cannot keep Mike McCarthy for not another year, never mind signing to a 3-year contract that you're going to have to pay for the whole 3 years. Okay.
I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Jerry does that.
Okay.
Because Jerry, look, to get a new coach, you got to find the right coach. You're not willing to give that much power to. You got to find the right coach who's willing to motivate these guys. You got to find the right coach who's willing to take on a $240 million quarterback who, let's face it, that guy right there, regardless if you like him or not, he's got Mike McCarthy's back right now.
There's no question.
So do you want to lose your biggest figurehead pay-wise because you let go of his coach? I mean, Look, is it ideal? Is any of this ideal for anybody? No, it's not. But let's face it, it is what it is, and we're all stuck with it. And
I'm ready to throw the prediction out there for you. Are you ready for your next head coach? Especially if my team who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. It's funny, but Kellen Moore, it's going to be he is going to be in the discussion for the Dallas Cowboys job.
Great. Do you know what you got? You got Jason Garrett 2.0.
I fully agree. But that's one of the games that are going to be in the conversation in reality when it comes there. Now, obviously, I don't think that's the right idea.
And guess what? Jason Keller will not sell tickets.
Well, that's another.
That's what's important.
Listen, Mike McCarthy.
Keller.
When Mike McCarthy did join, a lot of people liked that idea, Mike McCarthy. So that did help sell tickets. You're going to have to sell tickets, and then you bring in the aspect of Deion Sanders. I'm telling you right now, he's not the right coach for the Dallas Cowboys, but he would help sell the tickets. So the question would be, would Jerry go that route because he's going to help sell tickets or win a Super Bowl? And we've already seen what he's capable of doing, of hiring the wrong head coach. Go ahead.
Hold on a second. Does Deion Sanders want to coach against his son? Who's probably going to coach of the Giants?
Yep, I understand. Go ahead there, Cuervo.
Well, let me squash that part real quick, Podfather. I don't see Deion going to the NFL at all. I don't see him ever coaching in the NFL. If anything, he's going to go to college. He's going to stay in college, and I'm going to stick with this belief until I'm proven wrong. I think he ultimately ends up coaching his alma mater, Florida State. Eventually, he'll get to Florida State, and he will make them a powerhouse again.
I think so.
I thought you were merging. I thought you were trying to merge Jason Garrett and Kellen Moore's name. That's why
I might have been.
So like maybe Kellen Garrett. I don't know, but I could see. I think Sonny's right. I see Jerry Jones hiring that type of guy again. He's like a yes man who is real. It's kind of similar to what the McCaskies do in Chicago. They like hiring the nice guy who's going to be a nice fit at the country club, who's not going to be too hard on the players. He's not going to ask for a lot of money. He's gonna be a guy that we believe in and whatever, dude. I think you're right. I think it could be a Kellen Moore. I could even see a situation. You ready for this one? Here's a good one for you. I can see a situation where the Cincinnati Bengals fire Zach Taylor and he goes to Dallas. What do you think about that?
I actually had that in mind. But of the available coaches, that will probably be out.
Well, he's going to be available. He's going to be available.
I'm sure he will. But as of right now, Ben Johnson, probably another name that's talking about, Mike Vrabel. But the question is are these guys the yes men? I mean, listen, Heather just said it right
Vrabel's
now.
Not.
He's got the yes man already in place. The only question is how much does Jerry Jones put on Mike McCarthy for what he is seeing on the field right now and how much responsibility he's actually going to take. And listen, I don't think Jerry Jones takes responsibility for anything as far as the W's out on the football field. I think he puts that on the head coach. This guy will never admit that he didn't do a good enough job because how much money he spent on the two guys that he did, the all-in work that he did. So that's a Jerry Jones thing. But when it comes to football, what you're seeing in Detroit is the old school mentality coach having success. In other words, Campbell has sold to the players and they have bought. I'm telling you right now, I think the right choice is Mike Vrabel, but I don't think Vrabel is going to put up with a Jerry Jones because of the type of coach that he is. I don't think a Dan Campbell coach can come in and do that job because it's Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones wants the sexy pick. I think Jerry Jones has somebody in mind that we are not even privy to, that he has not even put out there. But I will tell you right now, if the Cleveland Browns get rid of Stefanski, he's going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So let me put that out there, because right now he's about the only one that can do what he needs to do in order to bring success to a football team right now. Now, the Cleveland Browns not known to do the right thing, which would keep Stefanski. I'm telling you right now, I think Stefanski would be the guy for them to go ahead and go get. Now, because he's proven he can be a yes man, because listen, he won't dump off that quarterback to start all day long, but I think he'd be the right coach in reality for the Dallas
scary
Cowboys.
When you're saying it's the guy that we're not thinking about. What if it's Mac Brown?
I don't even want to hear that. I mean, for Dallas Cowboys fans, I don't.
I'm just saying.
You think they go down that road?
Huh?
Jerry Jones, when he gets drunk, will keep Mac Brown in.
You get him in a drunk mode. I mean, once again, one of 500 coaches team, right? Mm-hmm. He's one of 500
Screw
coaches.
It. So. Hire Tony Romo. Why not?
Well, hire Troy Aikman as a GM. Go for that.
Nope.
Try that first.
I wish a Brian Flores would be a guy that would be, right there, but it's not.
What though? Here's the thing: you get rid of Mike McCarthy, who already still has a locker room. Let's say you get rid of him. You got to find a coach that's going to capture the locker room and have them on his side. The only person I can see ever doing that, unfortunately, is Deion Sanders, who would not be a good pro quarterback like Cuervo said. I don't think he wants that anyway, because again, the thing about being the head coach of the Cowboys, once you start losing, once the fan base turns on you, so will the owner.
Right.
So, the owner will do a lot quicker than anybody else. So, I don't think Deion's the right guy, although I think he'd be the right guy to bring in to get the locker room back
and sell tickets.
Yeah, but also if you get rid of a guy who already has a locker room. Now, maybe a guy like Ben Johnson can come in here, but he might just be a yes man. He might be like what Chan Gailey was, or what Wade Phillips was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Good coach. Better than average, but not enough. But that's if they get rid of Mike McCarthy. I don't think they do anymore. I think their chance to do it was Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Because we never heard anybody else's name really mentioned. That was really the Kellen Moore thing. I think that scares Jerry, because he's like, I've already dealt with him, and now as assistant coach, but I already had Jason Garrett.
Yep.
So
I get it.
Does he have 10 more years to invest in an unproven head coach? Which let's face it, are people knocking down Jason Garrett's doors to get to be a head coach right now? No.
Well, we talked about that. I mean, kind of, but and then you have up on Cliff Klins. This fits kind of as far as, first of all, yes, man. I think Cliff Kingsbury can be that guy. Plus, he is talented. He needs a Dak Prescott. Cliff, I think, would be a pretty good setup in reality. But it is the Dallas Cowboys, and they are the kings of God only knows what's going to happen, and that's what they do. And unfortunately,
remember, whoever you bring as a head coach, they have got to be the guy that the network's got to sell as being the game to watch, because we're going to have the Cowboys on in more states than any other football team.
Right.
So who's going to be their head? I mean, look, if you want to go old coaches, you can go Pete Carroll, you can go Joe Gibbs, you can go whoever you want to go find out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I doubt Joe Gibbs wants to coach football anymore, but I'm just saying you can go find an older coach, but you got to get someone who's going to capture the locker room, and they already have that guy.
Look, do you honestly? Okay, all right, and then we'll get on to the next. You think Mike McCarthy has the locker room?
Yes. Micah Parsons said that he.
Mike, listen. I don't believe Micah Parsons to save his life, dude.
Sonny, before you throw everything out and say that I'm an idiot, Your quarterback, you're paying $240 million to, wants him as a coach. He wants it all back because he thinks next year can be different. You got CeeDee Lamb saying the same thing. You got Micah Parsons saying the same. The guy you're going to be paying a whole lot of money to, you're hoping to. Otherwise, he's gone to the Steelers, and then you got to go find somebody else. Look, I'm just saying he's got the locker room more so than anybody else right now. Now, they could easily let him go and bring up Mike Zimmer as a head coach. They could do that. Politically correct answers.
These are political correct answers that you get when you're listening to a football team, all right, who is in disarray. And by the way, they're so messed up, it's unbelievable. That being
right, but they messed up because of the coach. They messed up because of the ownership.
I think it's a combo. Because listen, there's been some questionable calls. There's been questionable calls from Mike McCarthy all year long. Has nothing to do with personnel. With
you've had questionable players on the field.
You've
had questionable players on the field. Players who aren't ready for that spot who've been thrust in there because they did nothing in the offseason.
Well, we can sit there and complain and do that.
You can
do that all day long. And you may even be correct, but at the same time, football players, I think, have something all in common. They want to win. Okay, listen, Mike McCarthy for the last 3 years has not shown that he can win football games. Being the leader of this football team, regardless of who's out, Mike McCarthy has nothing to do with the personnel. So that
Time out. No, he can win football games. He was 12-5 the last 3 years. He just can't win the bigger games.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Okay.
But this year also proved that he's having a tough time. But again, I understand what you're saying. Well, you can't say nobody. Okay, you can't say nobody.
Right
the right personnel is definitely.
Who's their quarterback right now for their man of the season?
Say again.
Who's their quarterback right now for their man of the season?
I forget the dude's name. The guy came in.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Yeah, Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Who's the running back?
Oh, listen. Okay, you can sit there and talk about personnel all day long.
Who's your number 2 receiver? Is it Brandon Cooks? Because he's been relevant all year long.
Well, he wasn't before. I mean, Brandon Cooks, whenever he has come into different teams, he comes in and he's a badass. And why is he not up? Then you're not looking at the right place. Brandon Cooks is a decent player, but listen,
he's a great player, but okay. He hasn't shown up this year. We're talking this year.
So you want Mike McCarthy next year for your head coach?
I don't know who I want. I really don't. But
you better hope it's not Mike McCarthy.
Huh?
You were asking earlier who the number 2 receiver is, Podfather?
Yeah.
Miles Austin. That's your number
2. What's a throwback?
Listen, the Dallas Cowboys need to go into a different direction. Listen, you say whatever you want. All right, this team is about supposedly winning, and Mike McCarthy has shown that he can't get that job done. And if they don't move on from Mike McCarthy, let me tell you, the laughing stock just goes higher for the Dallas Cowboys.
It's already pretty high.
Because they should have fired him last year.
But the thing is, I don't know if you know this or not, well, everybody wants to point fingers that they're going to get rid of the head coach and everything else. They're really looking at Jerry Jones saying, you're the reason why we're this way. Now, we can't replace you because that doesn't happen unless you're Daniel Snyder. But, we can't replace you because you're a Hall of Famer. But what can you do as the owner to make this team any better? And honestly, I don't think he even knows.
Well, of course not. He hasn't improved it in the last, 28 years?
Go ahead, Cuervo.
He doesn't know, but let me ask you, Podfather, does he care?
Yeah, it's a good question.
That's the question.
Does he care about winning?
He's got the number 1
Does
brand
he care about
in the
winning?
NFL. the number 1 brand in the NFL that sells the most money is still him.
$10 billion according to Forbes.
Yeah.
$10 billion.
Yeah. That stadium alone just housed the biggest boxing draw ever, which was, you could debate if it's really a boxing match or not. He's all about making that money. And he's done that.
Yep.
He just happens on the football team. He doesn't
care about winning. He doesn't care about winning.
he doesn't see the failure in losing.
That's because he makes too much money. So, like you said, if people stop going to see that football team, then maybe that changes the whole thing. But here's the problem: they fill that freaking stadium up, and he don't even care if it's the other team.
Yeah, that's the root of the problem, though, Sonny. It doesn't matter.
If you want to throw out there and go, okay, Cowboy fans, to come see my team, $20. Now, if you're a Bears fan, you're going to be charging $50. You know,
I'm just saying.
Like, we're going to keep them fans out, so we're going to charge our fans even cheaper to come see it.
Well, no. That's not the point, because it is showing a little bit.
I'm not saying they do
that.
Now,
he can sell out that stadium, but he's not selling it out with just Cowboy fans. Okay, you know, and there's a lot of times more for the so. The simple fact of the matter is, until people don't go to that football game, it won't matter, because he can fill that stadium up regardless who's playing, unless it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, so so you'll have an empty stadium.
That'd be all teal blue in that stadium. Trust me. I mean, the entire fan base will find their way to get to the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah. So
you know what though? But that's the problem within itself, though, guys. Is that. And it's not a knock on the Podfather or other. I know many Cowboy fans. It's a matter of, they keep going back. The only way to really send a message to the owner is to stop buying tickets, stop buying merchandise, and you're going to see the revenue. It's going to start to spiral down, and then maybe at that point Jerry Jones says, "Oh shit." He's like, "Oh, I'm not making any money. What do I need to do?" Well, there,
now
Mr.
I gotta have
Owner.
a winning football team.
Right.
It's like completely the opposite with the Dallas Cowboys compared to any other football team in the NFL.
But the problem with that is the fan base, and this is, again, it's not a knock on the Podfather or any other Cowboy fans that I know. The loyalty with that team is so strong that it's never going to happen.
Right.
They're never going to stop going. They're never going to stop buying jerseys.
I stopped going. And I got loyalty to them.
Well, hold on. The difference between you and, let's say, my uncle's got more money than God himself. And so the difference between you being able to get those tickets compared to my uncle, there's different rates. Listen, the normal fan is not really sitting in the Dallas Cowboys stands unless they're in the
Sonny is the guy with the rich uncle, Podfather. Who would have thought?
Kathy is a classic example, and you know who I'm talking about. Kathy went to see the Saints, and she paid $200 for standing room only tickets. Okay, so that tells you something, as far as that's concerned. It's a status thing as far as the Dallas Cowboys are, more so than Packer fans are just your general fans.
Yeah, Packer
that
fans
go to
own
these
the
football
team
games.
Packer fans own the team now.
Say again?
Packer fans own their own team now.
And that tells you something. But look at okay, let's go to Seattle. Seattle's got rabid fans, right? I mean, look at Pittsburgh. These are the blue collar games. These are not the million and billionaires that are filling these stadiums like the Dallas Cowboys are. They're the regular folks that bring on the team. And as long as he's got millionaires buying tickets, he isn't going to care. So exactly. I go back to what Cuervo was talking about. Does he care? Now, that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We got 20 minutes. It's time for rapid fire as far as the games are concerned for this week. You guys ready for rapid fire?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about rapid fire. Cincinnati in Tennessee. And we talk about Tennessee having the grit of a team that can, maybe get, an upset. Is that grit going to happen this week, Cuervo?
Tennessee and who? I forget. Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, Cincinnati and Tennessee, and they are in Tennessee.
Oh man, that one's that's a weird game to pick. I'm gonna go Bengals. Just because I think Tennessee sucks at stopping the pass, and Jamar Chase is on fire. So
there you go. Podfather.
I think Bengals went. I think last week's game kind of helps rejuvenize, some of that team.
Never mind, they're number one.
They're playing the Titans, and no one's gonna give a shit.
There you go. All right, and I'm going to go Cincinnati because of the passing attack. In reality, when I looked at it, it took me about 10 seconds to realize. And a pretty good win last week for Cincinnati, so to kind of rub the salt in the wound right there. But Washington in New Orleans, Washington, they backed off a little bit, but they're still a good football team in reality. The Saints, they're just kind of in disarray. Podfather, what's your take up on that game? Washington in New Orleans.
New Orleans is lost right now, and the Commanders need a win. So give me the Commanders.
Shoot that over then to Cuervo.
Yeah, I think what you mean by that, Sonny, by what you said is people have realized, Jaden Daniels is not the god of rookie quarterbacks. Maybe we need to back off of what we've been saying about him. But I still think Washington wins.
I'll give credit where credit is due.
No, I didn't say you said it. What? The media has created that. Jaden Daniels is the greatest rookie quarterback of all time. Ugh.
Then you ask yourself the question, looking last year. I mean, I think that the narrative, of Jaden Daniels is almost the same as you've seen last year. Exactly. It's kind of the same narrative and the same talk in reality, but I think the talk started a little bit earlier with Jaden Daniels, and that's because of the success that Stroud had in the playoffs. So I think there's a little bit of a difference there. But as far as the narrative is concerned, listen, Jaden Daniels is doing a good job. Now, he's not. Do you expect the Commanders to win the Super Bowl? No. Okay. Do you expect him to go far in the playoffs? I don't. But God, if he gets them there, that's a pretty good start for a rookie. And then you have to judge exactly what you're going to get from that guy in year number 2. Just like we're taking a look at CJ Stroud, kind of taking a step back from all the hype and everything from last year and seeing things that, defensive coordinators salivate after a first-year rookie quarterback, the little things that they miss and defensive coordinators love to watch for. So that's the reason why you get that. And whether or not, Jaden Daniels will be a guy that can overcome the sophomore slump is going to be there. Now, that also being said, CJ Stroud's quote-unquote sophomore slump, it's actually been okay. They're doing pretty good in their own division of football. Will they make the playoffs? So, looking at that point, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go Washington, and I like Jaden Daniels. I mean, but he is a rookie quarterback. Let's continue to see what they got. Baltimore is in New York. Okay. And this is a trap game for Baltimore. First of all, they're on the road. Second of all, the Giants have nothing to lose. So I'll throw the trap game to Cuervo. Is this a trap game? Is this something that they have to worry about today going up against the Giants in the Meadowlands?
The Giants. Yeah. I mean, you got to worry about every game, no matter who. It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday. Anything can happen, no matter how good or bad a team is. I mean, hell, the Carolina Panthers only lost to Kansas City by a field goal a couple weeks ago. So anything can happen, but I do think the Ravens will win. I think they're a more disciplined team than to let the Panthers or the Giants beat them. So yeah, give me Baltimore.
Yeah, I looked at Baltimore in that loss, that 5-point loss, but they go into the bye on that 5-point loss, and they get the Giants. So I kind of like that odds, as far as that's concerned, coming out of the bye. So
and I think you get Tommy. I think you get Cutlets back today for
that too. Correct. Yes, you're correct. So Podfather, what do you think about this one?
Are you ready for my upset of the week?
The Giants?
I don't know. Is it this game or is it
no. It's not this game. No,
I was going to say.
No, give me the Ravens.
Not a lot to talk really in reality, especially coming off of the bye. I think that's a big deal in reality, getting a lot of rest and get to it. So the Jets at Jacksonville. toughest
Oh,
game.
but this is the game of the day right here.
Toughest game. No, it's not the game of the week. It's the toughest game of the week. Jacksonville, they get a win last week. I didn't pick them. I'm not going to pick them for the rest of the year. This is a god-awful football team with Mac Jones at the quarterback position. As I predicted, by the way, you go back. You can call me kind of insane all the time, which most people do. But I was not wrong about the pick for Mac Jones. He is showing that he's not even a good backup quarterback. Now, that also being said, you talked about the Dallas Cowboys and personnel and everything else. The personnel's kind of lackluster in reality in Jacksonville. And I don't know if that's because the coach has lost this team. I'll just say this again. The coach has lost this team. There's no way, and they don't go out with fire. They don't go. And by the way, I'm not the only one that thinks this. Tom McManus did. That says the same thing. This is not a team that's fired up to go out on the football field week in and week out, and that is the huge problem going on. The Jacksonville Jaguars, regardless, it's the Jets. They don't even have a chance of winning this football game because Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be the Aaron Rodgers of 4 years ago. So he just needs to be a decent quarterback, and they're going to get the win. I'm on the Jets. So, Cuervo.
Yeah, Jets for me as well. Breece Hall is going to play for you fantasy people out there. So get him in your lineup if you still can. Going up against that Jaguar defense. Yeah, I like the Jets. But it's going to be it was slimmest of margin, Sonny.
And that's what's sad. You think it's slim. I think the Jets embarrass them, in reality because of that defense. So, Podfather.
Give me the Jets, Jets, which might end up being an LOSS, loss for me. But, I don't trust Jacksonville. So, I know they got the win last week. And I know the Jets can barely get a win these days. Yeah. So, but, it's that whole thing about talent, right? Sometimes you have more talent than the other team, but then the other team shows up and punches you in the mouth and you weren't ready for it.
Yep.
That can happen this game, but I'm going to go Jets.
Yeah, and you take also a look at the fact that there's only 4 more weeks of football. Will Aaron Rodgers be ready to play the game? But here's the thing. I go back to the fact that he doesn't have to be the Aaron Rodgers that we know in order to get the victory as far as the Jacksonville Jaguars are concerned. So Houston at home taking on Miami. This was another tough pick for me. And I initially have the Miami Dolphins in this game, and I don't even know why in reality. So I want a good reason to pick one of these two teams. I picked Miami because I didn't want to have an empty spot in case I forget to change my pick. So I'm on Miami, and I don't know why. So Cuervo, give me a good reason to pick one of these two teams. If it's Miami, I'm a genius.
I think Miami's got a shot because even though it's Houston doesn't have bad weather. So, the Dolphins play good in good weather. So,
yes, they do.
That's why I think the Dolphins have a chance to win this game. And, that's really all there is to it.
So the better team and better weather right now should and is the Miami Dolphins, Cuervo?
They're playing in Houston, though.
Yeah, they're in the dome. They're in the dome.
Yeah,
so
they're in Houston.
Nice weather.
Right. Yeah, I just, I wonder about Houston's defense. Are they going to be able to slow that offense down? That's my question. And then can Miami's defense slow down Houston's offense? This is a pretty good matchup. This is one of those under the radar games of the day because there's so much focus on Bills, Lions, and the Steagles game. I've got Houston in the pick'em right now. So I'm going to stick with that because we all know when you change the pick, you wind up messing it up. So
always. So I'm going to stay with Miami. I'm staying with Miami because of what Obi says. You can't defend speed. Podfather.
Let me give you the reason why you stick with Miami. Okay.
Okay. Because you're on Houston?
Because I picked the Texans, and we have to separate ourselves, okay? So
that's all the reason you need.
That's all there is.
Yeah, he feels good about it.
Honestly, team-wise, they're about the same. Okay?
I agree.
I mean, Tua is a better quarterback than Stroud.
Not by much.
Not by much. Tua is also one big hit away from having a career-ending injury. So there's always that too. So
also very true.
Yeah.
AstroTurf today.
AstroTurf does not help because I play on I-35.
That's what I'm saying. So I get what you're saying. AstroTurf, more so than natural grass that they have in Florida.
All right. So, but like I said, I mean, look, CJ Stroud, he hasn't had the most productive year for a guy who had a hot year last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs a game like this to kind of show that he can play in this league. Because right now, he's kind of getting by after what he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the season's coming to a close really quick. I'm not sure where they're going to finish right now in the playoffs, if they're going to go or not, because I have no idea what it's like in the AFC South. But I do know this. For a mentality basis, he needs to win this game. Because Miami, whatever hopes Miami had early in the year, that went away once Tua got knocked out for a few weeks.
Yep.
So to get it back, they're playing under the idea that we got to protect this guy, because if we lose him, we're back to not having Dan Marino again for the next 20 years.
There you go.
So, yeah, give me Houston again, because you and I are so different on this, and we need the separation.
Yeah, need that. Yeah, I need to stretch my legs here. So, there, kind of thing. That having been said, two teams coming off the bye, the Denver Broncos are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. And this game is in Denver, Mile High. Cuervo, your wife, what's your wife's influence today? Is it I'm taking Denver, or is it, are you going to go ahead and just ask the one question that everybody asks when you're telling me there's a chance? What do you think?
Oh no, Broncos will win.
So you're Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, Broncos. No problem. I agree.
No problem.
Say whatever you want about that. Even for people who are out of shape, that weather, that altitude, it does something. And when you're not a good football team, that being the Indianapolis Colts, it just makes that much worse in reality. I'm going Denver. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Denver.
Godfather looking at his phone. Did she message you again? Yeah, I told her not to.
So what'd she say? What did she say, Podfather?
He says, Podfather, you know what to do. So give me the Broncos.
Short and sweet. That's my wife. Short and sweet.
Hey, I'm gonna go with her this week. That's mean, because I go back to character on players. And listen, say whatever you want about Richardson. He's not going to get everybody on the same page this year. If he's going to do it, it's going to be next year. He's going to have to change his thing. That quitting on a football team just tears your team up, and especially at the quarterback position, and going up against Denver in the Mile High, in that altitude. I just don't think I don't even think they got a chance. And I'll just even take the fact that you guys are taking Denver. I'm going to even take it a step further. I think Denver blows them out. So just kind of up on that. So Arizona at home in New England. And I don't know who said it. They said it's the easiest pick of the week, the New England Patriots. I don't know who said it. I don't know where I read it. Is that the pick this week? Was that in the chat, or was that somewhere else?
That could be something that Obi would say.
Because he loves Kyler Murray.
He loves him so much. So do I. I love me some Kyler Murray.
Obviously, you weren't in the right. I think for Sam either.
Yeah, I don't. But here's the problem.
You should do the show with Santa one day.
New England's not a good football team, but you know what? They've had some surprising wins this year. Regardless of, good, bad, or indifferent, or when it happened or anything, this is a game that Arizona is a classic to drop. So I'll ask Cuervo, what's your take up on this when you're looking at it?
I mean, it's rapid fire. So, I mean, Cardinals will win. New England's not very good. Cardinals. And they're at home.
Cardinals at home, even though they were at home last week, and I thought that they would win that game. Podfather?
Well, it is rapid fire, like Cuervo said, and, the Cardinals are at home, but nothing that's ever matters. Every time I pick the Cardinals, they've lost, and every time I don't pick them, they win. But I did pick the Patriots, but I'm gonna make the switch. Going Cardinals.
You're going Cardinal. I don't even know who to pick in this game, but I'll
go with your
back
heart. Pick the Patriots. Go ahead.
No, I am. I'm going to pick the Patriots for you. Okay, and the main reasons why I don't trust Kyler Murray. This should be a game. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out here. This should be a game that Kyler Murray throws for 225 yards and 3 touchdowns. Question is, can he do it? Question is, will he do it? Then the other question, does he want to do it? And because I don't know who Kyler Murray is except for the fact that he's a quitter. And if this New England defense gets in his face, he can end up dropping the ball. And I think they will. I'm going to go New England in this one, not just a pick against Podfather. I think this is one where they get bitch slapped. And they may only lose by 3, but everybody is on Arizona so much on this game, it scares me to pick them, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, 96% is picking them.
Is that what it is? Yeah. So I didn't look at that number, but I'm going to go New England in this one. It just something about this game just doesn't sit right with me. But then again, what do I know? Look where I am. But the Chargers, Tampa Bay in Los Angeles. This is another game that, like you said, Cuervo, flying underneath the radar in reality.
Look, there's good games today, man. This is going to be a good NFL Sunday, boys. Let me tell you.
I agree.
It really is. Oh, man.
Should be middle of December.
I'm a big fan of Bucky Irving, the rookie running back for Tampa. I am. I'm a fan of his, man. I like the way he plays. I like the way he runs. But is it going to be enough to beat the Chargers? No. I think the Chargers win. I just think that ground game for the Chargers. I mean, what did you expect with the Jim Harbaugh team, right?
Exactly.
The only thing that concerns me for the Chargers guys is let me verify this. I think McConkey, he might not play tonight, or he might not play today for the Chargers. Lad McConkey, the receiver. But we'll see. But as of right now, I'm taking Chargers.
Podfather.
It's funny because, Justin Herbert and the guy from the Bills, what's his name? Quarterback for the Bills, what's his name?
Josh Allen?
Yeah, the two of them are like 1A and 1B for me, right? And for so many years, I've been saying, don't trust them, don't put your stock into them just yet. They haven't proven anything, and I've been proven to be kind of right about that for the most part until this year. And this year, both quarterbacks are showing they can play. Both quarterbacks have matured enough to be considered really strong NFL quarterbacks. And I think while Baker Mayfield is a hell of a story in Tampa Bay, that may not be enough to stop this Charger team right now. So give me the Chargers.
Yeah, looking at the Chargers, they're 8-5. They lost last week, as far as that is concerned. But at the same time, I go back, we talk about potential. I love the potential in Jalen Hurts on what he's able to do. This year, I love me some Jalen Hurts, okay? I've always loved Patrick Mahomes. I think Herbert can be in there. And at 8-5, at this point of the season, and you're talking Chargers football, I don't think you could have asked Jim Harbaugh to go in and do any better in reality. So I think that relationship is right there. And this is a good game for them to get. They need to get this if they want to keep talking about playoff talk, okay? They need to get to 9 wins this week, and I think they're going to be able to get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take them over Tampa Bay, although I'm very impressed with what Baker Mayfield's been able to do with Tampa Bay.
I'm sorry, I have one question.
Sure.
Why is Tampa Bay called Tampa Bay, not just Tampa?
Because the name of the city they play is Tampa Bay.
No, they play in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, but where they're at, where their area is. It's kind of like
okay.
what they talk. Where Deep Ellum. It's still Dallas. It's the
yeah.
same thing.
I know the answer to that because I guess that's what Tropicana Field is also for the Tampa for the Devil Rays and everybody else. I guess I don't know because I'm not familiar with that part of the
Gotcha. And then, for some stupid reason, the NFL wants two Monday night football games. And the Atlanta and Las Vegas game is on. Oh God, no offense against your Bears, Cuervo. 2 bad Monday night football games. So watch, and you don't get red zone, so you got to watch the whole damn thing, whichever one that you want, unless you flip back and forth. That being said, of course, that's the name of this show. What you got going on in this one, Cuervo?
Well, I ordered some Vienna Italian beef, so I'm going to make that for the game tomorrow night.
Italian beef or Vienna sausages?
No. The Vienna brand. It's a tub of the Italian meat. But I did order some hot dogs too. Those best in the world, right there.
That's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Hawaiian hot dog buns too, right?
I've got some. I've got some chicken, some pork chops, and some smoked sausage to throw on the grill here later on tonight. So,
Hawaiian.
Are you actually going to do it?
You know what, hey, Podfather? If Sonny ever tries to tell you he's from Illinois, don't believe him.
No,
don't believe Hawaiian bread on a Chicago dog. Are you serious?
I love me some Hawaiian bread. I love me some Hawaiian.
He likes to spend a
lot
little
on a Chicago dog. Poppy seed bun is the only way to do it.
Well, I'll agree with you on that. But I don't. I try to stay away from the seeds. Diverticulitis, I gotta unfortunately kind of stay away from. So
just sit down, take a big shit. You'll be all right.
Yeah,
I've had that too.
If I'm able to. So
let me tell you, it sucks.
Now I got all the games right. We
haven't picked the Falcons and the Raiders game.
Well, pick them right now.
But yeah,
I mean, we have the greatness of Kirk Cousins, right?
That's right.
Right, Sonny.
Right. And he's going to look like a superstar this week because it's
and then you'll come back next Sunday and tell us how he is your guy, how no one else plays better football than he does.
No. I might come back and say he's their guy because
depending
on who they'll be able to get, and that. Listen, say whatever you want. I do like Kirk Cousins. But there's a reason why I like Kirk Cousins so much. Not necessarily what he does out on the football field. This guy's the great negotiator. He's been stealing money away from NFL football teams for a long time. So I got to respect it. What's Cuervo?
So Baltimore had the ball to start the game off. Got a good return. Lamar Jackson fakes the handoff, and even Giants strip him at like the 15-yard line. And Giants got a turnover.
Man,
that's how that game is started.
I told you, man.
Joe Burrow,
watch out.
And Joe Burrow just got intercepted.
Joe Burrow intercepted.
Interception. Yep.
One of these days when we got nothing to do, instead of doing the pick'em game, we'll sit and watch Red Zone and go back and forth. That'd be.
I'd be cool with that if I had the entire Sunday off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people can make it, some won't, and then we have to line up the streaming, I'm 2 minutes ahead of you and you're 2 minutes behind me or whatever. So it's lining up of the stream as well. So it's something.
Well, what was it last night? Me, Michael, and Billy, we were watching Saturday Night's Main Event, and we were video chatting the entire time, and we were about maybe a half a second off, but we kept pretty current to our time.
By the way, 2 titles changed hands last night, right?
No, just one.
Just one. Okay. All right. Very good. Is it Kevin Owens?
No. Kevin Owens lost the match, and he came back and hit Cody with a pile driver and picked up his title and walked out with it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It was cool to see the Wing Eagle belt, the old belt that Hogan used to wear. That was cool to see.
By the way, let me just throw this out.
What the hell is going on?
Chelsea Green. First of all, used to hate her. Now I love the haters. I love me some Chelsea. It reminds me of those 2 girls from Australia and I used to hate them, and then I just began to love them. I forget who they are.
It's funny because Billy was reminding me last night that her outfit was reminiscent to what Zack Ryder, her husband, or
I think that was done on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, so it was very cool.
Yep, definitely. All right, so what's the last? Give me the last update on what you're looking at, Cuervo, and then we're out of here.
I don't know what's going on so far this morning, guys, but like literally games just started, and you've got 3 different games where turnovers have happened. You got the game in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson gets stripped. You got Joe Burrow got intercepted, and the Kansas City Chiefs just recovered a muffed a punt return. So now they're in the red zone. Like, what the hell's going on right now?
It's a game of turnovers. It's going to be a good week. Like you said, I think this is one of those good, and I think we can see some upsets. It's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely. So that's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show, week number 15 of the NFL. Next week, week 16, and hopefully your 50-inch screen will be up next week, Podfather. You'll be watching this on the 50 like I am. I'm watching on a 50.
Maybe we'll see. I mean,
so we'll see what ends up at. Roku? Is it Roku?
That's right. It's the same TVs I got all over the house, which was kind of cool to get a free TV and be the same thing I have all over the place. So,
and there's Heather Stevens. Heather, by the way, thanks for joining us. We've seen your takes in there. We enjoy that, and Chief fan maybe, huh?
Yeah, she's major Chiefs fan.
There you go. All right, so there you go, everybody. That's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. 3-hour extravaganza. We'll come back to you next week. Everybody have a good one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.